All right, all right, all right. With a strong sigh. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome back to the Unpopular Black Gamer. This is your boy Dante, aka the Unpopular Black Gamer, always with my boy Patrick. Say hello, sir.
Yeah, if you heard someone almost starting to speak at the beginning of the broadcast and then stop, that was me.
Hopefully that was something that wasn't caught up by the mic. We are still in our um, holiday what's the word I'm looking for here?
We're in the liminal space between Christmas and the New Year's,
Yeah.
so I'm still in town.
So Patrick is still in town in our hometown that we grew up in, and he's over at my house right now.
Hmm.
So we're not doing this completely through online chats. So, oh man, what episode are we doing right now? I'm completely thrown off from us watching this. Like, and I want everyone to know that at least what I try to do with my getting ready for the podcast is I like to watch the episode as fresh as possible. Like, I want it to be as fresh in my mind as possible before we record.
Yeah, that
So
really worked against us today.
it really did work against us. It probably would have been best to have like at least 24-hour break between
Get this sorted out a bit before.
like like and Patrick normally watches the episode a little bit ahead of time sometimes,
Yeah,
depending on your schedule.
depending on my schedule, I usually try to watch it on Saturday because I like to think and maybe not do like research, but like if there's some like cool connection I can think of, maybe even watch
Mm-hmm.
another episode
Mm-hmm.
of a different series. So
Mm-hmm.
it's part of the fun in doing this.
And you are tasked with actually like doing the run of the episode to do the recap
Yeah,
and everything. So you want to like make that more concise as possible before the actual podcast.
right.
So, and that, granted, with me being the person that like controls the podcast, a lot of the production value and everything of it, like that was our way of like splitting the responsibilities of this.
Hmm.
Um, so,
Not even a
I mean,
conscious decision, just how it kind of worked
it
out.
kind of just worked out that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't even like plan it out like that. It just kind of fell
yeah.
into that. And really, Patrick, you're better at me than doing the breakdowns of the episode because I
Oh
would probably miss
shucks.
something. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I would miss
I would
something.
miss some-
I would
I
definitely miss
probably do
something.
miss stuff. If the one or two other people that got on earlier are back and we miss something, say it.
I, I I don't think you do, but like yeah, true. If he does, like I mean, point that out. I mean, we need the engagement. You know, why not?
Yeah.
Of course, we got our drinks. I'm spoiler alert. I'm just going to tell you that this is a no synthahol required episode. I mean, no, this is not going to be a no synthahol required
Oh, okay.
episode. It's what I meant to
A little bit
say.
behind the scenes, since I'm sitting
Yeah,
right next to him, I did look at him crazy. Like,
he did. He just looked at me crazy, like, really? That's
this
not what we talked about.
we haven't told each other our rankings, but we both have a general sense, and then sometimes when we talk about stuff, it moves it up and down, and then we actually reveal the rankings at the end. Something happens in this episode,
Yes.
and it makes it hard to give it
Yes.
a
Yes.
good score.
Yes.
So we're starting out with a low ceiling already, and then yeah, we'll figure out where we net out from there.
And really, because of this episode, we added an extra category to this. So it's still five is still being the top of the category, but we've added a zero. Like
Oh, okay. Not one to. I need to correct that in my notes.
yeah. Like it's really like five, four, three, two, one, zero. Like there
Right.
can now be a zero within our rankings. It's not just a one. It's like a flat out you should not watch this. And I'm going to point that out more at the end of this before we give our ratings. But I want to keep you all in mind of that. And there is a reason why I've added that. Well, two reasons why I've
There
added
are
that.
two reasons.
and I'll point that out then. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. So,
We
episode 6 of Star Trek, the original series, The Enemy Within. And just a little behind the scenes. Me and Patrick were talking about this before we actually watched the episode. Um, Patrick, I believe you stated that you remember the beginning at the end, but you didn't remember like
didn't
the
remember the middle at all.
yeah.
Yeah, I came into this episode highly skeptical because eventually we're gonna hit the '60s television pacing.
Yes.
We've hit it
Yes.
a little bit in the man trap when the salt monster kind of meanders around the ship and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do anything for like what felt like 20 minutes, but I don't know how long it was. Um, I think Charlie X had a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of that in here, so I thought that's what happened in this episode. But apparently, that was just my brain protecting itself from what happens in the episode. And now I've reset the clock before I forget it again.
So the crazy thing is, I remember this episode as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I truly do. And we discussed this, but I do not remember the parts that we were like looking at now, and we're just like completely uncomfortable, completely and totally uncomfortable. And we're definitely going to get into that. Um,
Yeah, there was a conversation there in itself.
man,
Um, Go ahead and pull up the timer, just because it's late at night,
yeah.
and we probably need to keep an eye, if anything, for your sake.
Um, I mean, I mean, yeah. I have to work tomorrow. A little behind the scenes thing. Like I work tomorrow. Patrick's off. Uh, I'm looking at this like I love doing the podcast thing. Like
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah,
We run late. We run late. It is what it is. Because I don't want to cut off good conversation.
gotcha.
Unless it's just like banter that it's just like, oh man, I'm cutting all of that in post.
That will get the STF here.
Yes, yes.
It's like,
So, I'm kind of uh, it,
are we gonna start off with it before
no.
we even?
I feel like I feel like I want to. It's hard for me to do this episode. Let, let me be real. And because there's a lot of uncomfortable things that are done within this episode that are not handled the best way possible. And it reminds me of another episode within Star Trek that was not in the 60s, more so in the actually the 2000s
Okay.
when this was done. And which I'm gonna point out. But I at least want to give like some foreshadowing to this to say that we during these times, me and Patrick were completely uncomfortable, especially from the type of men that we are and how respectful we are. So, and this will make sense leading up to this. I mean, if you watched our previous episodes of the rewatch of Star Trek: The Original Series, you kind of have an idea of where we're going.
Yeah.
And true enough, one of those situations happened within this episode that was way worse than any of the previous episodes before this. So let's go ahead and get started on this, Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of this, but let's do it. Let's do it.
Keep in mind, I just wrote these notes in order in which we got information. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna learn some names of places and people a little bit later
Yes.
in my notes.
Yes.
The Enterprise is in orbit around some planet. They don't say right off the bat, so it's around orbiting some planet.
And this episode didn't start off with a captain's log.
It did not. We just got to it.
It just
Nope.
showed the Enterprise circling a planet, and then it cut to Kirk on the planet with Sulu and the rest of the gang.
Bunch of randos,
Mm-hmm.
bunch of blue shirt randos. Okay, Sulu is holding a space dog. I don't know. They never say what it is, do
So I have to point out what I put in my notes for this one.
they? Okay.
And I'm gonna have to bleep myself because YouTube.
Yeah.
They are on some random bleep planet with a random bleep dog.
Yes, they are. like a $50 '60s tent
Yes.
that they got at a
Yes.
local
Oh,
sporting goods
oh,
store
they
in the
went to
background.
the local mom and pop store because we don't even know if like there was like a Walmart around the corner.
Right.
Probably, but we're not sure if they like made it there yet.
Yeah.
So like they went to some local mom and pop store and said, "Give me a tent." And the most colorful tent you can give me,
Hmm.
that's what we need because color means the future.
Yeah. So we don't know where they're at. They don't know. They don't say what they're doing there,
Yes.
and they're just holding a random space dog, which I'm sure has some name in the fandom, but I don't know. I'll look it up later if I get curious enough.
And
Later in the episode, not later in life. Like I probably won't remember.
probably later in life. Um, and I do want to point out that I don't think they ever talk about why they were on this planet.
Oh, they do. They get to
Through
it.
the whole, oh, you got that?
Yeah. Eventually, they explain what they were doing down
Okay, I
there.
missed that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, and they talk about that the planet's going to get really cold. So
I believe they said 120 degrees below at
yeah,
night,
yeah.
which is
You don't want to be outside during that.
I, did they say Fahrenheit or Celsius? They didn't say.
I feel like they said Fahrenheit, but I might be Mandela affecting. Like it seems like we should understand what the temperature is, which means it has to be Fahrenheit. But
I mean, I hope it's Fahrenheit. That was my reason for asking because I'm really
okay,
thinking like to myself like they say how because 120 degrees Celsius is extremely cold, extremely cold. So I'm hoping that it's Fahrenheit.
well even then I don't think you can survive being out in that condition for too long with no
Yeah,
because this planet's getting
yeah,
cold and they're down there just in uniform and with their sporting goods store tent
yeah.
and the dog with the random horn and stuff stuck
And
to it.
whatever. Okay, it was a horn and like some like it looked like candy
It looked
cane
like
crap.
candy canes. Yeah.
Like it's like
Uh,
antennas or
on
something.
what was very clearly a dog. Like you could not
Oh,
mistake it
that was
for
definitely a
anything else.
Pomeranian.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to keep in mind, even though I don't have kids, I have two little dogs that I
Hmm.
love very much.
Who he just found their next Halloween costume in today.
They
You
would
know
be
exactly what to do.
they would be mad at me if I put that on there.
I think that dog back in the '60s was mad.
Oh, 100%.
So one of the randos hurts himself. We do later learn his name. I think that was Fisher. One rando hurts himself and is covered in some yellow stuff. He
Hmm.
needs to beam up, and for the first time, we recognize that sick bay is sick bay. So he needs to beam up and go to sick bay.
Yeah, they did actually say go to sick. I think Kirk was the
Yeah,
one that said go to sick bay.
it's like someone like wrote them a letter and was like, "Hey,
We need to define this at this
this
point.
thing is called sick bay on a ship, so just call it that. You don't need to call it medical."
And I do want to point out that both me and Patrick both said, "Oh, he's gonna get unalived." Like
Immediate, yeah,
immediately, both me and Patrick looked at each other was like, "Oh, he's about to get unalived."
which makes his part makes part great because he starts to get beamed up. There's a problem with the transporter,
Hmm.
but he surprisingly makes it.
Surprisingly,
Like he's okay when he gets off the transporter. I was
I
like,
seriously thought for him to get like mangled, he was gonna get like. Granted, if that had happened, then the next scene wouldn't have occurred.
yeah,
So
the rest of the stuff doesn't make sense
yeah,
if that happens. He has to go decontaminate the uniform because the yellow stuff that's on him is magnetic. So he leaves.
quote unquote.
Yeah, I don't know why he has to decontaminate the uniform because it's magnetic. It seems like that'd be more annoying than anything else, but
Whatever.
yeah, he throws it in the washing machine or whatever. Um,
I'm just imagining. I'm imagining like there's another room off the transporter room that you go into, and it's just like a room that just has like streams of like jets like
oh,
all around, and you just go in and just like hold up your hand, and it just like shoots
like a
away with
like a
water.
car wash.
Yeah, like a car wash. You just turn around.
See, I was immediately thinking you were going Enterprise, where you have gel
No,
and maybe like your very pretty Vulcan
They've
friend.
upgraded
That
at this point.
that
So
doesn't seem like an upgrade to
so
me.
like no, they just shoot the gel from these jets onto you, which sounds terrible. It does. It sounds awful. Like follow me here. Like don't go any further here. All right, just follow me where I'm
I don't
going.
know.
All
I think
right.
I'd rather hang out with T'Pol in the decon chamber than be shot with
Well, I mean,
jets of
think about it. It
gel.
was just this one guy. So what if you were with the full room of the landing party, and some of them just so happened to be
Mhm.
of the opposite sex, and y'all are just like spinning around in this jet room, and it's just shooting this decontaminated gel all
I
over.
would literally be like, I did not sign up for this.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Okay, keep going.
Uh, Scotty thinks the transporter is good, but sends Wilson, I think we learn his name is Wilson later,
Mhm.
a way to get something to double check it. But instead of double checking it, he just beams the captain up anyways.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. So it's like
He's like, we
it
need to double check it.
is this like a double check after afterwards? Like
After we risk the captain's life?
he didn't feel like that. Well, oh no, I kind of looked at this as like he didn't feel like that it warranted for us to completely shut down the
That's what
transporters.
he's basically saying. Is like, okay, something's off, but this thing is actually still working, so
Yeah, because
I don't need to shut down.
he did a diagnostic,
Yeah,
and the diagnostic came back clear.
like we'll double check it. We'll fix.
Yeah,
We've already talked about the transporter before, so like it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't want people just kind of
yeah,
guessing whether
yeah.
it's good or not. But
I mean, already by this time though, the transporters are proven technology though.
it is. But the rest of the episode doesn't happen if that sentence totally holds.
Discovery didn't have any issues with the transporter.
Did they?
There was no bad transporter episode in Discovery. And Discovery was before this, yeah.
There was one in Strange New Worlds there.
Oh hell, you're right. So there's still documented instances where the transporter did malfunction.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Kirk beams up. He feels a little weird, and Scotty's like, "Because you feel weird,
He gets
I'll
off
walk with
balance,
you."
yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. And Kirk's like, "Don't leave the transporter room unattended." And he's like, "Oh, "I'll be fine." And of course, it's not fine because, uh, and this is where we need to make clear some terminology. I'm going evil Kirk and good Kirk. Is that good for you, or did you have a different?
Oh no. Whichever way we want to do this, we just need to follow that going forward.
Okay,
So Evil Kirk EK,
yeah, is EK
and then Good Kirk GK.
GK? Yeah,
Okay. So this is the introduction of EK.
this is the introduction of EK, evil Kirk.
And the transporter room just like automatically initializes itself. This like no one's
It just happens.
it just happens. No one's doing the slide the
Which they all have to do for the rest of the
yeah
time, but
I call it the EQ sliders thing,
yeah,
like you're doing a soundboard or whatnot to turn it up and then turn it back down.
absolutely.
Which I'm pretty sure that's exactly where they got
Oh,
that
most
from.
definitely.
Which is crazy because how they did the practical effects in the '60s, and then when you get to the late '80s, '90s with TNG, they just like found a way of putting that on the just a panel without no toggles. It's kind of like how
Yeah.
they do cars now. Like there's no toggle buttons now; it's just all the screen.
This is for whatever reason, and I guess maybe because the resurgence screen is on, I am remembering that like the mission you hated the most was the one when you had to operate the transporter
Yeah, because it
playing
didn't
this
make
game.
any sense though. It was so freaking
It
annoying.
does make me
Like,
wonder during my replay if that's where the whole thing is going to break down.
oh, we're definitely gonna have to do this replay. Okay, but the crazy thing is you're gonna get the replay with the upgrade with the updates to it. Like, granted,
Yeah.
like you don't play your game inverted. I'm the crazy one that does
Yes.
the inverted
We don't know what's wrong with
controller.
you.
It's just the way my brain thinks. Gosh, don't make it seem like I'm just like one of those people that can't think for themselves or
A
something.
sicko.
Uh, Well, now you just made it worse. Now people gonna think I'm a Daxter or something.
A what?
Dexter.
Oh,
Uh,
Dexter. Oh,
Dexter.
okay.
I don't know what's that. I don't know why I said Daxter. Yeah, Dexter.
Oh, okay. You know, I haven't watched that show.
I've watched some of it,
I've
but
heard
not
it's
like.
good and then it gets bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has its like
A
ebbs and
lot of
flows, and then
Showtime shows do that.
they redid it too. Now, like they have
Yeah.
a new kind of a reboot of it right now. So,
Yeah.
which is also weird to me because I'm like, didn't was he ever captured? He wasn't. Whatever.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. So what they were doing on Planet Alpha 177, we eventually are told.
They finally say that they actually do a captain's log
They actually did the captain's
after
log.
after the introduction of Kirk. Evil Kirk, by the way.
Yeah. After Evil Kirk, EK.
But the crazy thing about them introducing Evil Kirk is just like they do this close up where William Shatner has to do this menacing look.
Yeah. You can tell by the lighting and the close up
And the music.
and the eyeliner that
And the music.
and the music that
Oh, he's
this
definitely Evil Kirk.
this is Evil Kirk.
And then they do
The captain's log.
the title screen,
Which
and then
lets
when
you
it come
know that
back.
they're going to win at the end of the day because they refer to everything in the past tense about them not knowing it yet that a strange alter ego of Kirk had been beamed aboard.
Yeah, because he's like, you can hold on, wait, when are we doing this captain's log? It's like you already said not me not knowing at the time
Yeah,
that this occurred. So did this happen after you found out?
yeah, it has to. That's how
And
space time continuum works.
and I do want to point out that I've started like so I've always been curious as to how they do the star date. The star date has been one of those things that's just like I
Hmm.
feel like it's always been inconsistent and doesn't necessarily make sense. So we are going to do a screen track on this at some point.
Once we have enough data.
But yeah, I need more data on this, and it's going to require me to go through the full series of TOS and then reference things that I know from the previous, the other series
Yeah.
that I've already watched multiple times, except for Picard, because I'm not rewatching that. I am not rewatching that. I am
You can rewatch season
not.
3.
I will rewatch season 3, but I am not rewatching season 1 and 2. Like we vehemently told each other that we are not rewatching those.
Very much not. And
And
it's in.
really, when we do our rewatch of TNG, this is how it would go. TNG, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6, season 7, Picard, season 3.
To wrap everything up with a bow.
Yes. Before we go on to Deep Space Nine,
Yeah.
like we need to go ahead and wrap it up with a bow and everything because we are not. I repeat, I cannot stress this enough. We are not rewatching Picard season 1 and 2.
Not getting any argument from me. They were on Planet Alpha 177 to collect specimens. That's what it was. I guess that's what the space dog was. Was that a specimen, or was it just
But it's a space
like
dog
how would it live on that planet? I
by
don't know.
itself. Were there any other? They didn't say that there were any other of that species, or
Yeah,
nor did they even say that the space dog came from that planet. We just assumed.
they never reference where this thing came from. If it was anybody's pet, they didn't name it.
This could have been Sulu's pet that he like went down with, like
Yeah.
Jonathan Archer's. What's the name?
Well, given what happens to the thing, that's a lot of regret he's gonna have.
True.
Okay, so Wilson. I'm gonna try and put in the names as we go, but according to my notes, a rando checks in on Kirk, a red shirt rando. I think that's Wilson. Checks in
Mm-hmm.
on wait a minute, which one is it? EK.
Yeah,
Checks in on EK while he's like,
but he doesn't say anything.
well, he's checking it first. He's kind of caressing
Oh,
the transporter
he is
console.
touching the hell out of these transporter console
It's
controls.
nasty.
Like, like it is a woman that he hasn't seen in forever. His girlfriend that he hasn't seen in forever, I should say.
Yeah. And the rando's like trying to check in on him, and EK gives him at first like a really menacing stare, and then gives him a
Yeah,
smirk,
yeah, yeah. This is
and then that's it.
this is probably the true beginning of the overacting that William Shatner does with this character, and it comes on full blast in this episode.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and put us on orange alert for
Uh,
things are.
a little behind the scenes, okay? So when we talked about moments like this where there are strong essay situations within the TOS series, because we're starting to realize, with this being the sixth episode that we've watched, and we've seen a lot of these moments, that this is going to be something that's frequent.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of harassment and stuff that's just like out of pocket comments,
Yeah,
behavior, things like that. Charlie X hit on people don't kind of understand how to explain consent.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
this episode
Just takes that and
really
runs with it. It is.
enters the essay attempted grape territory. We're not quite to it yet, but it's going to impact the score.
All I'm gonna say is that I'm just glad that I was born in the '80s.
Man.
That's all I'm
Well, I
saying.
mean, even then, like
No, no.
movies and stuff that were coming out then, like
It was still bad then, but as we get into the '90s, the 2000s, like
yeah, and
uh,
certainly post like Me Too and all that
yes,
stuff.
Me
Got
Too, women's empowerment, like you get a lot of the stuff that comes up that has changed the structure of how we talk about these things.
yeah,
And stuff like this should make you feel uncomfortable because it's not good
yeah.
at all. Period. Point blank. There is no but. No. F that. I was almost about to curse, and we're not at the point where I can curse.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but like F that. Like period. Point blank.
F stands for forget everyone.
It isn't. No. This consent is a big deal,
Yeah, and
regardless of whether you're married to the woman or not. Too.
but you know, is a thing that like had to evolve in the law.
Yeah.
It's a very, yeah, boy. Anywho, Scotty and GK arrive at we'll just call it Kirk's quarters, where hilariously enough, Yeoman Rand is just in his quarters.
Yeoman Rand is like this. This part threw me off. This part completely threw me off because I'm like, what is her function?
Uh, oh yeah, we said we were gonna look
We
that up.
we said I did say we were gonna look that up and I didn't have the chance to. But like, it's she's just in his quarters. Like it's normal. He didn't bat an eye. He
Yeah,
didn't say, "What are you doing here?" He didn't say any of that. So it's like this is showing me that this is a normal occurrence that the yeoman is in the captain's quarters to do
yeah.
whatever.
And so like, just to set the scene, like there's an office side of the quarters, and then there's a bedroom side of the quarters. She is in the office
She
side.
is in the office side.
She
Yes.
has a stack of reports
Yes.
and gives him the reports. Um, and he essentially like after she leaves, like lays down because I guess getting your personality split in
Yeah.
half it takes a lot out of you, and he lays down for a nap. Um, so we
Yeah.
also get established later that people have to knock to come in, so like we don't totally understand um, why she was just waiting in his quarters. It seems like it's like you said, it's a professional
I truly think.
thing. Like it's part of her job to do this, and it's just not weird. But it's also just weird that she's like, you can't give him the report. You know what it is? There's no ready room.
Mm.
I don't know if we're gonna get a ready room in TOS, so maybe that's why.
Mm.
Like it's like his room, but it's also his office. Maybe that
That is a very good
saves it.
point.
Yeah,
That is a extremely good point. But it's still
it's
weird to
still
me
weird. Yeah,
that she would even be in the ready room
yeah.
without him. Because it's the captain's ready room.
Well, but it's your like you been at work when someone's waiting at your cube or waiting in your office, and you kind of show up and you're kind of like, okay, someone's in my office right now, and that's annoying, but it's my office, right?
So
It's not my bedroom.
it would depend on where my office is. I can think of myself. I can remember when I was an assistant manager. I had my own office, and granted, this was in a different center than where I was when I was a full fledged manager, a final center manager, I should say. The My office was off the beaten path,
Mm-hmm.
so you would have to
Yeah.
like if there was no purpose of anybody being in there but me, basically. But when I was a full fledged manager, my office was off the like literally connected to where the teller line was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was a door leading to that people could go through, which I had no issue with anybody going through that to
Yeah.
get to the main lobby. So, I really would think it would really depend on that. And even here, I can't think of a time in Star Trek when they did the Ready Rooms, which started with TNG going forward, that somebody was just in there waiting on the captain.
Oh, I'm sure it's happened. I feel like,
The only time I can think of that would have been like when the admiral was on board, but that person outranks them.
well, but I think there's something to because one of the things, man, we're probably overanalyzing it.
We probably are.
If it is his effectively his ready room, they could have had a meeting set up for her to deliver all those reports.
Yeah,
And if you show up to somebody's office ahead of the meeting and you're waiting for them to get there, you don't sit outside the office. You just go in and grab your chair because you're supposed to be there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's how I'm starting to think of it now. And it's just weird because it's his quarters, but it's because they don't have the. I mean, he has a ready room because Pike has a ready room. It's Strange New Worlds,
Well, but that I
but
feel like that's one of those retcon things.
yeah, it's gonna get
Yeah,
retconned. Like if they
yeah.
ever
There,
reshot this episode, there's probably a lot of changes they'd make. And one is
yes.
that.
Yes, there are a lot of changes that should be made. Yes, that being one of them, and then oh,
And
I
then
don't even
yeah,
want to say it until we get there. It's those who know the episode know, but and we're about to get there, but it's bad. It's bad.
yeah, and it's a bit of a slow burn to get to
Yeah.
it. So Bones is healing. We learn his name is Fisher, the rando blue shirt that cut his hand and got the yellow stuff all over him that broke the transporter. He's doing it with a dustbuster and a spray bottle to heal him because Bones uses a spray bottle. The spray bottles weren't for show last
Spray.
week.
We talked about this that the spray bottles is a futuristic technology at this point
Amazing.
in time in our lives.
Apparently, Bones sends Fisher back to duty. EK has come into sickbay though and aggressively has asked for Sorry and Brandy. Like,
Aggressively, didn't say anything else.
mm-mm. Grabbed Bones by the neck. Bones was like, "What?" And he gave him the bottle.
What?
And the
He is the captain.
yeah, he takes the bottle, starts to drink from it, and he literally just walks straight
Dips
to
out.
Yeoman Rand's quarters. Cut to GK. Good Kirk. I'm gonna say it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit just so that people don't get lost. Cut to GK. Good Kirk. In his quarters with his shirt off
Mm-hmm.
because why not?
I want to tell people behind the scenes on this. When this scene came up, I told Patrick that I should have created a counter that showed how many times Kirk either gets his uniform ripped or just has his uniform just like off showing his bare chest.
Yeah, it has to be like a contractual thing at this point.
Oh,
I
it
think
has to be.
I think we're estimating that this is like the third time in 6 episodes
That's what
that
we were
happened,
estimating. Yeah.
and he hasn't even been in all the episodes.
But I was gonna start it, but it's like it was gonna require me to rewatch the previous episodes that we watched, and I kind of don't want to do that at this
Yeah,
point. Uh,
three's a good enough guess.
yeah, three's a good enough guess. We're gonna do an unofficial counter at this point.
Oh, there you
Yeah, that's part of what we're gonna do.
go. Spock comes to visit because Bones wants, obviously, because he got like grabbed by the neck and told the back of his neck,
Yes.
and told to give the captain brandy that he stumbled out of. To be like, can you go check on the captain? So he goes and checks on him. Spock reports to him what's happened, and GK is like, I've been in here the whole time. I think Bones is making a joke. Um,
And I do want to point out something from this. I don't know if they did this in Discovery or in Strange New Worlds, but um, I thought there were internal sensors that could detect where a person is on board. Uh, so I would imagine that if they had done it, they would have shown two Kirks. But
there's
but I will point out this, but because I feel somebody typing right now.
okay.
So stop typing. Stop. No, stop. 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 No, no, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You don't have to point it out. I'm getting there. All right.
I just keep
Yes,
going.
I know in TNG going forward they have the comm batches, and that's how you indicate where a person is at all times. In the original series, it was done by the communicator. They always have the communicators in a pocket, regardless of whether they are on board or not. This is something that has been established. So, my only thought process here would be the communicator was something that didn't split and just came back with good Kirk and then come back with evil Kirk. Or they just didn't have this technology at the time. But I
Well,
can't
I think
fully.
more straightforward. The communicator probably doesn't work because the other technology, the heaters they beam down later, splits and doesn't work.
Okay, that's more plausible. Okay, you got a good point
Yeah,
because we do determine that later on in the episode that anything that was on the transporter, even technology, was duplicated as well.
yeah.
So
And
okay,
duplicated tech doesn't
yes,
work anymore.
yes, okay,
Awesome. Um, so GK and Spock um, meet Scotty in the transporter room. I guess they were called down there. And this is where they first learn about the duplicating problem.
hmm
Um, and they,
excuse us.
one second, chat.
We're just lubricating right now. Excuse us.
Um, no Diddy. Um,
Yeah, there was no way I could say that without making it sound less Diddy-ish.
there we go.
So,
And this is where they first learn about the duplicating problem because, um, for whatever reason, they
hmm
beamed up the space dog on its own, left all the people down there. Space dog got its own beam up, and it split into a rabid evil dog and a very kind little dog.
it was just going off.
Yeah, I still, for the life of me, can't understand why they beamed up the space dog on its own and left Sulu and a
That
bunch
was the
of
part that was
dudes down there.
so. What
Like, I get that the
here
writing and the plot requires it, but
it
like,
does, but here's what I can think of that would make sense.
okay,
All right.
yeah,
So Sulu's in charge now that the captain's on board.
okay,
So this is Sulu's mission to do the specimen categorization, like get all this together to beam it aboard. Since they already had the dog, Sulu couldn't hold on to that dog the whole time while trying to command, like, do this, da 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 da. So Sulu was just like, hey, being this dog aboard, this is one of the several specimens that we're going to
okay.
beam aboard. That's the only thing that makes sense to me logically from this. And also, it just started raining here, so if you hear thundering and lightning in the background,
Yeah,
that's just the situation. It really just started coming down.
it's supposed to blow through in the next hour or so. Actually, I think just in the next hour. But yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna get probably like a severe thunderstorm coming through.
yeah,
So also, if we totally disappear, power went out.
yeah. Yeah, the power went
Easy
out.
enough.
Tornado came through. I mean, Tennessee's real big for those, so I
Well, also
mean,
it's like in the 70s in December.
yes, exactly.
Like,
That's why I said tornado
like
coming.
Lord help us.
uh,
Y'all, we got to do something about climate change. I'm not trying to get political on a Star Trek podcast, but we got to do something.
whoa, whoa,
We got to do
whoa,
something.
whoa, whoa,
I'm not going to say what we should
whoa,
do,
whoa. Look,
pro or con.
no, 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 no. Stop that. Stop that. No, we. Star Trek is not political.
Well, you know the other political joke I want to make tonight that I'm not going to. So, so you should be thankful.
Okay,
This is as
that
far
was
as I
that
go.
was the more tame political joke.
Well, as a result of Scotty discovering this problem, Sulu and the landing party can't be transported, which, if you remember from the top of the episode, is going to be a problem because they're going to straight up freeze. The
Yeah,
opposite of what's going on
yeah.
in the southeastern United States right now. Okay, well, Rand returns to her quarters, and evil Kirk EK is spying on her.
So I have to point out, seeing as how this is my channel, I have to be responsible here and point out this is a trigger warning.
Yes.
Like huge trigger warning for anyone who has
Actually,
dealt with anything dealing with grape, anything dealing with SA. Like what we're going to talk about is not going to be comfortable for you. I would either uh, jump forward at this point when we're talking about this, or it's okay for you to stop listening. I'm not going to tell you to keep listening.
yeah.
So
We're not going to go into like vivid detail here,
we're not,
but
but it's enough to trigger someone
yeah,
if they've been through a situation like this.
yeah. Man, actually, now that you even say it, I'm like even wondering because I was just coldly writing down what I was seeing like a reporter,
Yeah,
and okay, look,
it's terrible no matter how we try to describe it. So we have to find like just kind of
yeah,
a matter of fact. This is what happened in the episode.
I'm gonna start pretty high level,
Yeah,
and then we can see if maybe that gets us through this. But let's see. Essentially, Evil Kirk, like,
he
just
forces himself on her.
yeah, he forces himself on her because I have too much detail here. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to work it
so I'm trying
out.
to help you
Yeah,
to like
he
clean it
forces
up.
himself on her under the guise of making a romantic advance at
Yes,
first, and
yes.
then just absolutely like consent isn't even sought or discussed. It's just he's like, we're gonna do this.
He
Um,
even states like with his verbiage that he used to this. One of the things is "Don't fight me,"
yeah,
which
he
is
says that,
oh my god,
which is
like
yeah.
and
I mean the whole thing where he's like, just wait a minute, don't fight me. Like that's all just really big non-consensual talk that is just so
yucky.
yeah.
And so I do want to point this out. I said this while we were watching this that I was like, I have something to say
Okay.
about this scene that I didn't want to tell you
Hmm.
uh, because because of how they did this.
Okay.
I found it crazy that they were self aware that evil Kirk would do something like this to the level of essay and grape.
Yeah.
But in the previous episodes where they made jokes and comments and everything that could lead into that direction, they weren't self aware of that.
Yeah.
That was the part that like got to me the most as I'm like watching this because I'm just like, this is supposed to be a show that is created to show how the future would be.
Yeah.
In the future, we would be this minded. There, I mean, this is something that they talk about in TNG. Like they, in the future, anything that is of the sexual nature is considered just like normal. It's not something that's faux pas. It's not something that is like we keep this under wraps. It's just like everybody understands that like each species has their form of this sexual nature. So it's not something that should be under wraps and something that should be like oh, we shouldn't talk about this. Oh, keep
Yeah,
this
they're
under
more
wraps.
liberated.
Yeah. So for them to do something like this in a series that's supposed to be going in that direction is crazy to me.
Yeah, I kind of think about it. I'm like, I don't know if it truly is just a limitation of the time because, like we were saying earlier, even stuff that was coming out in the '80s and it's been an evolution.
And there
Like,
is a female writer on the staff. I don't know how
yeah,
many.
yeah, I don't know.
We
Yeah,
know one in particular, but we don't
well,
know how many female writers are on the staff too.
yeah, and I just, I mean, I'm not giving them any excuses at all, period. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
wondering if like they're just so far back in time that they just don't know that, especially given how they handle the situation in the next scene, or not the next scene, in the scene after this, yeah, in the next scene,
Yeah.
and later in the thing, if there's like a, because there was a period of time in the world where like a man like essentially
Mm,
forcing himself
mm-hmm.
on a woman was sometimes viewed as, oh, he's just really into her and like he's just,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
showing strong interest and things
Ugh.
like that. And it's like, and it's really been what recently that it's like, okay, all that was really kind of like messed up. You really,
We're looking at this through a 2025 lens.
that's what I'm kind of getting at. I'm like,
Yeah,
I wonder if I was like in 1960s sensibilities, if it wouldn't have shaken me to my core so much. Like even thinking about, like you said, watching it as a kid, but even as a kid, I didn't really understand what's going on.
yeah. As kids, we like
Yeah,
this is, and we talked about this earlier. Is like, well, not earlier on the podcast, just like out
yeah,
off the podcast. It's just like this is something that didn't register to us as kids. Me watching this with my dad, you watching this with your dad, like your dad and mom, because your mom is a Trekkie, didn't you say?
yeah,
Yeah.
hmm
So, like, uh, when we watched this as a kid, it was kind of one of those things that we didn't pay attention to really, because I don't even remember the scene. I didn't remember the scene at
Well,
all.
like you said at the beginning of the episode, what I remembered was the beginning and the end.
Yeah, true. But and I don't think I said this, but like I actually do remember this episode.
Yeah,
This was one of the episodes that I remember watching with my father. So I didn't even pay it like. Granted, like this is what 5, 6 year old Dante, probably younger than that, probably 3 or 4 maybe. So I couldn't even comprehend what the hell was going on at this
right.
point. So watching this in my adult age, I'm looking at this like, oh
and
wow,
the way it's shot, because it's essentially a fight scene.
yes,
It's an action scene. It's a fight scene.
oh
And the way it's shot and the dialogue, it's really something straight from like, you could go get a real case file of something that happens, and
yeah,
or watch something that's based on it, like Law and Order SVU, and the way Rand resists, the way
yes,
she gets thrown on the floor, the
yes,
way she resists from there, and
mm-hmm.
how the scene as well. Like it's to your point, it's so graphically
She,
realistic that it is weird that there's so much more sexism and misogyny in the show that
yes,
just kind of flies by, and that they fumble it later pretty badly.
and granted, like she doesn't actually say no, but she like her actions and what she is saying to Kirk in this time, like suggests no, get off of
It's
me.
pretty clear,
Like yeah,
yeah.
no, get off of me. What are you doing? This is
Yeah,
not no. I don't want this to happen.
yeah.
So um, it it was uncomfortable for me and Patrick to watch this episode, and the sad part about it is we knew where this was going from the beginning of the scene, especially from the previous episodes that we watched. We was like,
Yeah,
oh no, please no,
it wasn't a
no,
question of when he went into her quarters
yeah.
without her. It wasn't a question of what was about to happen. It was just like, how bad is
How
it going
bad
to
is it
get?
going to be?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it went
yeah. It,
just,
it went as
just.
bad as we thought it was going to go,
I mean,
or
it.
as bad as we hopefully we're expecting that it wasn't going to go. Actually,
Yeah, exactly. Like it was bad, and if it went any worse, then it just would have been bad.
yeah,
Like it,
yeah.
yeah. So
And she eventually like gets him off enough to like try to run out
yeah,
of her
she scratches.
quarters.
She scratches
Yeah.
her face. She scratches his face, and I'm not sure what move she uses to like actually get him moved off the
Mm-hmm.
top of her, but that gives her a chance to get up. She tries to run away, and that's when Fisher, the guy who cut his hand earlier and got covered in the yellow magnetic stuff that
The one who started all this mess.
started all this stuff, um, he sees what's happening and going in there. She can't quite escape because EK, Evil Kirk, is blocking the exit, and she yells to him to call Spock.
Call spot. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess he's chief of security or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess in that situation, it's kind of hard. Like, okay, it's number one. This is one of those retcons that we're
Right.
gonna have to discuss at some point. There is no chief of security, at least from as we know it at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait till Chekhov is on the show and try to figure it out because that's when all the stations are manned, and I
Yeah,
think everyone has a department at that point more clearly.
yeah. But Spock would have been like probably one of the first people that come to mind because he's the next in command after Kirk.
Also, more practically, he's the strongest MFer on the ship.
True, true.
So if anyone can end this
He can
situation,
Vulcan neck pinch him, and
yeah,
he,
quickly.
and also he's the only one that has the ability to relieve Kirk of his
Yeah,
command,
which
along
is
with the doctor's consent of him not being the captain not being in his right
which
faculties.
spoiler alert is what needs to happen in this situation, and the
Yes,
fact that it doesn't happen in this situation.
100%. I actually put that in my notes. Like,
Yeah,
why is he not relieved of command?
like the doctor and the first officer are like, you shouldn't be in charge, and they're like, but if you want to stay in charge, you can stay in charge.
They really should have sat him down and said, especially when they found out that there is a evil version of him. Like, dude, you can't be in command right now.
Yeah. Um. So Fisher runs off, tries to call Spock. As he's trying to do so, EK just knocks him out and seemingly beats him for a little bit with his fist.
EK is going ham on
Yeah,
Fisher.
yeah. This is
I
one of the worst working days of Fisher's life. He
I
also,
I truly thought that Fisher was done.
yeah,
Like there, like we were gonna come
I
back. Fisher has been unalived.
I thought so too because it didn't look like he was going to stop
No,
punching him.
no.
Um, so Fisher, for those who are keeping count, has had a workplace accident, broke the transporter, and gotten beat by the captain,
All in the same day.
all in the same
Oh
day.
no, 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 no. We're still in Star 1672. This is still all done of Stardate 1672. So
I
all within the same day.
I would request a transfer off this ship so fast.
Immediately.
I'd be like, I don't want to be part. I know it's the Enterprise. I know it's the best. I want to leave, please.
This is supposed to be the best posting in all of, well, we haven't even determined that this is the Federation or
Oh,
Starfleet yet.
that's right. Fisher doesn't know this yet.
So, like, we don't even know if this is the best posting.
That is true. That is true. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that just happened that it might be the worst. Uh, so, GK, good Kirk, gets confronted about it by Spock because WTF? Like, what's going on? I noted they should immediately, which is odd because I criticize them in a minute
Mm-hmm.
for coming to this, but I did note here that they should immediately know that there's a double just based on context
Yes, yes.
of what's
And
going
or
on.
at least Spock should have deduced
Yeah, they were
that there might be something crazy going on. That there might be something crazy.
because the way they kind of, I don't know, maybe they don't establish it, but it seems like the way this is going down, it seems like they're being told that there's a potential that the transporter can double people. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, this
Mm-hmm.
incident with Rand happens, and I'm like, well, if it happens at the same time, you should just be like, oh, well, she's saying, well, we'll get to her interview in a second. I almost called it an interrogation because it was.
Practically it was.
So after uh, GK gets confronted about it, I think they have to go to somewhere. I can't remember. They're going somewhere, the transporter room or sick bay or something like that. For those who want to know, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Chicago Bears by 4 points. What That's pretty incredible because a
That
wild
actually
card.
is because the 49ers are still pretty injured, but they've done enough to like get their team back into gear to, and the Bears haven't been they're not slouches.
Yeah, they're going to be the 2 seed.
Yeah, the Bears are actually pretty good this year.
Yeah, because the 49ers aren't getting ahead of the Seahawks.
Yeah,
So I love this time of year because you basically get playoff games early and even playoff
yeah.
matches that you might not get in there. And it looks like it came down to the last pass, and Caleb Williams couldn't quite get it. Sorry, y'all. We're NFL fans, and this is not going to get edited out. But I will close it so it'll stop distracting me. Um,
As
so
if we didn't already have enough to distract you.
yeah. So he's got the scratches on the face with Rand, and he's got Fisher's blood on his knuckles, and so he goes to Kirk's quarters to kind of,
Hmm.
I guess, sleep off what he did as well. Um,
Then in the next scene,
yeah, this is nothing starts to go right.
this is part two of three of what made us uncomfortable.
Yeah, so Rand is being interviewed about what happened between her and Kirk,
And Kirk is there,
and not only Kirk is there, Kirk is like within less than a foot of her.
abreast.
Yeah.
Like he could breathe on her at this point.
Which, oddly enough, this is written. The dialogue here is written in the way that if you're accusing someone whose power dynamic is so much higher than
Yes,
yours,
yes,
and you thought you had some type of close relationship, even if it was kind of undefined, like she kind of talks in the way where like she's not trying to make trouble for him,
yes.
and
It's kind of
really,
along the lines of Stockholm syndrome
yeah,
in a way.
and it's also how like victims in real life act
Yes,
sometimes,
yes.
and it's
They
just
they think that it's their fault.
yeah.
That maybe there was something they did when in actuality it wasn't at all
And it's like,
anything that
I
they
don't want to
did.
cause any trouble. Just
Exactly.
let me get out of here. And it's just like, okay, well that's not. And I wrote in here, this is the most effed up interrogation. So
So,
Kirk claims that the lack of scratches means
mhm.
that he didn't do it. I noted that that doesn't prove a MF and thing because they can just heal
This is
scratches.
Star Trek. Hmm.
Yeah. She fortunately gets backed up by Fisher, who took a savage beating from Kirk from EK in the
He
hallway.
he came out the woodwork was like, yeah, yeah, you did it. Yes, yes.
He did.
I was there. I was
Fisher,
there. You knocked the mess out of me.
yeah. Fisher is actually low key the MVP of this episode.
True.
He
True.
did start the
True.
problem, but he allies up with Rand to confront Kirk and Spock and
He
and
comes
Bones.
out the other room
Yeah.
to say this, like,
He's like,
no, MFR, you did this. This
yeah.
was you. I saw you.
He's like, this is the second time I've been in sick bay today. I am in pain. I'm getting in here and being like, this is the man that did it, and you guys need to just understand that.
Okay, all right.
Oh, are you still on?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not the first time that something like this has occurred in Star Trek, and it wasn't handled the proper way. And we're going to get to even more improper ways of how this was handled as the episode goes forward. But I would be remiss to not do my four lights moment right here because
I have the same moment. Dude. Well, the same
you did.
sentiment. Like I either would have done it on the scene before or later. Like it's the same. same thing.
it's this is okay. Number one, this is one of those situations where it's effed up that Ensign Rand has to.
Yeoman.
Oh, excuse me, Yeoman Rand. We don't even know if she's ensign or lieutenant or whatever
Oh,
rank
what
she
is her
is.
rank? I'll look that
We
up.
should look that up.
Go ahead.
But like Yeoman Rand has to state to the first officer what happened in front of the captain, who is the person she is accusing,
Mm-hmm.
which is effed up on so many levels.
Yeah.
So many levels. Because it's going to have her not giving the best statement, nor is it going to make her feel like she's safe enough to give said statement. Because all she's thinking about is how this is looking, how this is going to affect her career, uh, how this is going to affect her on board the Enterprise. How is Kirk going to look at her after this? Like, she is thinking about all of this, and probably more than that, that I can't even verbalize because
Yeah.
I've never been in this situation, nor can I even speak to that situation.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of women who can. But to
Which we're putting the word out. If you would like to join the Star Trek podcast so that we don't sound totally
yeah, totally
ignorant.
male splaining
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Uh, it, it's it's such a terrible, in my point of view, such a terrible scene
Mm-hmm.
because of how this is done, and it's never talked about how that shouldn't have been done that way. It's never pointed out that maybe the captain should not have been there. It's and I would have to point out that in Voyager, something similar, not to this particular scene,
Mm-hmm.
but something similar as far as essaying happened, where it was a Seven of Nine pointing out a a essay moment that didn't happen because it was like I think the way that they explained it, it was just like some craziness from her Borg technology that like brought about this
Okay.
particular scene. So it was terrible. It happened in season 4, episode 17 of Star Trek Voyager called Retrospect, which a lot of people feel like that is one of the terrible episodes of Voyager because of how
You got choices there.
7 and 9. It was just like a straight accusation and no true full investigation was done.
Okay.
And but also at the same time, there wasn't like a scene that like broke down how both parties felt,
Mm-hmm.
which is the best way of like doing this is to like point out, like in this TOS situation, pointing out how Yeoman Rand was, how she felt in this situation, what she, the terror that she felt, how she felt afterwards of even trying to announce this to the first officer with the captain there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just the psychological trauma that she dealt with doing this because she 100% had this situation occur to her.
Yep.
And
This is
then
a thing that happened.
this is something that happened. This is on screen. We have evidence that this is something that did happen. And then number two, not being able to fully point out how effed up the situation was, and then the also investigation to the situation was.
Yeah. If you write it today, Kirk's relieved of duty.
100%.
Yeah. And not even Spock
Yes.
leads the investigation. Someone like a JAG
It would be
officer
the
or
head of
something like that.
security
Yeah.
in this situation because we've already determined there's no JAG
Yeah.
officer on board. It'll
Either a
be the
JAG
head.
officer or
It'll
the
be
head.
head of security.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess I'm writing this a little too real life a little bit.
Lieutenant Commander Tupac would have been
Lieutenant Commander Tupac.
would have been like all eyes on me. Like
Exactly.
he would have definitely been like, I'll get to the bottom of
Yeah.
this.
And all of a sudden, what happens is that the A plot is the
Hmm.
GK, Good Kirk, trying to find the evil Kirk to clear his name, and then the twist being in the end is that they're yin and yang basically, and
Yeah.
having to reconcile with that, which kind of happens.
Which is also saying that Kirk has these urges. That's another. I like. I strongly want to point this out that it is saying that Kirk has the ability to do something like this
And
because it's half of who he is.
but actually, I'm a little bit more afraid that they're saying that the baser instincts that give you command and fight and
Yeah,
decisiveness in a
I was
man,
going to
at
get
least,
there.
yeah,
Yes.
are is like basically if you didn't have goodness with it, you would just be a artist.
If you,
I don't
yeah,
know what
the
how
rapist.
a grapist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
okay, so the only way that I can be a great captain is if I have
a little
this in me.
inner SA person in you that just wants to,
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah, it's buck wild. Like I get what they're trying to do. The whole thing, like with the bicameral mind of having like the higher mind and the lower mind, and having something that controls urges and things like that
This was a
is,
terrible way of doing it. Like I get it.
yeah,
Everybody has urges of like they want a certain person
and
that
the
they
intrusive
are.
thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the intrusive thoughts and like they one person that they're really attracted to. Like I get that. I truly do.
yeah,
But to pretty much put it on a character that is supposed to be in the pantheon of Star Trek, probably one of the greatest captains to ever come out of Starfleet.
yeah.
And to say that part of him wants to SA a woman, that's dude, that is damning. That is
It's pretty hard to square this, which is why I take a step back and go, and to a point you made about researching the 60s a little bit in jest, that I probably won't ever research unless I have to. Like, what did people actually think about this felony that I can't name on YouTube? Otherwise, what did
well,
they actually think about this whole dynamic back in the 60s? And I think it gets to the point later in the episode where it's like, oh, it's just something that men do, and you just shrug it off, and all men have this
it
in them.
is. It is.
It's like we're,
I've watched. While I'm at work, I
mm-hmm,
do a lot of work. A lot of times it's mindless,
yeah,
so I have to like listen to something in the background to not keep myself
right,
from going crazy. So I've watched a lot of true crime stories and everything, and a
okay,
lot of the, especially the ones that deal with SA and grape,
mm-hmm,
like they, a lot of those have been within 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Like it's it's crazy the
it's just
amount
viewed
of
differently,
it.
yeah,
And one of the main things that is like pointed out from when they like go to the criminal's point of view of their confession, and even the narrator was like pointing out like, you know, around this time a lot of stuff, like a lot of this was not taken seriously. If a woman brought up that they were SA'd or raped, a lot of times they would like it would be looked at from the cop's point of view that like, oh, then like you probably deserved it, which is like just terrible. It is completely terrible
yeah.
to even go that direction, or that it just didn't happen. Period. Which is, I don't know which is worse. They're both awful, but I don't like either you're saying like it. Oh, this is something that didn't happen. This is all in your mind, or that you deserved it. Like either one is like, what the hell did you just say?
Yeah, exactly.
So like a lot of times, like and this is one of the things that like that is needs to be pointed out. If like the rights of women like did not become a thing until a certain period, and the fact that we have a certain person in office right now
Hmm.
that doesn't care about the rights of women,
Hmm.
that would want to do something like this to a woman.
And has paid money because he was
Yes.
found civilly liable
Yes.
for something like this.
Is crazy to me. This is crazy. This is 1960s thought processes, and we're in 2025,
Yeah.
and we have someone that has, I mean, allegedly, I have to use that word, has allegedly done
As you
something like
slip
this.
into an impression.
Like,
As allegedly.
allegedly has allegedly done something like this. It is crazy to me that that person is at the highest seat of our country.
Yeah, and so it just brings up this whole thing. Like, I don't know why, especially like my personality. I feel like my whole life I've been see a problem, solve a problem
Yes.
kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, if we need to figure out what happened here, let's figure out what happened here. And we can't figure out what happened
Yeah.
here with the MFing captain that's under accusation standing here in front of this person who's I just looked it up is a non-commissioned officer at this point in time.
I mean, I have to say this about Spock. Like, I truly have to say about this about Spock within this scene. Like,
You betrayed your uniform!
dude, like,
What are you doing?
what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I know this. I know this Four Lights moments is taking longer than normal, but like, we have to seriously point this out because this was something that both me and Pax was just like, oh my god, no, they are not doing this.
It
No,
doesn't
Kirk
work.
is right there. No, no, this is what we were saying during the whole time. Like, oh,
Yeah, and like we know it would be written differently today. And honestly,
I hope so.
I think even the premise of excuse me, your evil side or your drive, decisive, less controlled by urge side would be something that necessarily has to commit felonies. Would be you can write you can because also they kind of mess it up because they also make Evil Kirk a bit strategic. So it's just like okay, what are you going for? He either has no impulse control, but is the thing that like gives you a little inner fire, a little inner drive. He doesn't necessarily need to be committing crimes out here with that, or is this just the purely evil side of him? And even then, he doesn't act consistent with that. It gets messed up.
This was basically saying, I'm going to say this, and we're going to drop the point and continue forward.
Okay.
This was basically saying that all those people that are in power, that are making strategic decisions about their company, about their country, about, yes, their country, I'm going to say that again, their country, that's making these decisions about uh, whatever, their family or whatnot, is that the only way that they can make those sound decisions is if they have a side like this within them.
Yeah.
And that right there is the effed up part. That is the because as someone who's been in leadership positions multiple times within their lives, I've made those decisions with compassion, with the understanding, and with looking at the human that is in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was done from the uncompulsive side of me, which is it is asinine. And I'm sorry to be as upset about this, but it deserves it. Like, it is asinine to suggest that that side of you is the main reason why you make a good leader.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, when they revisit this topic a little bit later in TNG in the episode where uh, Picard gets the knife, he gets a little shivved a little bit. They kind of showed that, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your past and, you know, the parts of your past where you took more risk and things like that kind of made you a bit, like, the collection of your
Mm-hmm.
experiences is what makes you a leader, which is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not some internal side to
Mm-hmm.
you that would be out here committing
Exactly.
all sorts of crimes
Exactly.
that you just happen to tame with your higher mind.
Exactly.
And like, I
My other thing is, if this had happened to Captain Pike, would it have been the same situation?
yeah, I don't.
Would Captain Pike
Unbelievable.
have a side of him where he would want to essay or grape one of his crewmen?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would vehemently say no.
Yeah,
All right.
it was totally fumbled. I'll give you a pass on getting a little bit political on a Star Trek podcast, though. I'll give you a pass on
Dang,
that.
I did get political.
Got a little
That's
bit
my bad.
political.
Yeah, Star Trek is not political.
So yeah, y'all. That this whole thing was real tough. It's gonna come back up again at the end.
Unfortunately,
Um, but at least
but the fact that these were like major points within the story
hmm
of this episode, like it's not something that we can like breeze over, butter over, and just like move past it. No, we have to like talk about these and like talk about. Yes, I'm pouring another drink just because of this craziness. If that's what you just heard, because this is crazy. So we are re-upping our glasses here uh, on
man,
this.
might have to get pause to get the other.
I, I think this whole conversation would devalue even more if we did. So
We'll see.
I'll probably call Eva Kirk an MFer and you deserve to go to jail and get raped yourself. So like I would probably say crap
It's
like that.
amazing how a poor understanding of sexism, misogyny, human psychology, leadership, the criminal justice system, like all of that combined together into some of the worst portrayal, worst light of Star Trek you could ever.
I feel like at this point that's how we should call it, Star Trek.
I know,
No,
right?
it's so. All right, I know I said I was gonna go forward with this, but I gotta say this one thing. Like there are multiple writers in the room. There's not just one writer. There's not just two. There are multiple
Yeah,
writers that come up with the script, and then even then, it needs to be okayed by the showrunner, who is
Gene Roddenberry.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Gene Roddenberry signed off.
Well, whenever we look into it, I don't think he had the best,
True,
you know,
true.
views of women internally. Like he could envision a better future, but that better future didn't include the way he was right then.
But the fact that like something like this happened in TOS and then in Voyager, like granted that was like a different side of it,
Yeah,
but still that still was not handled the best way.
yeah.
It's crazy to me, and we'll get more into that on the part three of three of why we're upset it comes about.
We'll try to keep that part to like a tight five, but we'll see what happens.
We'll try.
Okay, hard pivot. Meanwhile, on the planet, Sulu and the Randos are stuck and they might freeze.
Mm-hmm.
I think they basically established that several times during the episode. I have in parentheses, what is the dog? I guess I'm like really bothered by it never being explained, but it's just there.
I do want to point out that going into that scene, they did point out Stardate again, and still the same Stardate 1672, but they say 1672.9,
Yep,
which
some amount of time has passed.
I guess it's saying like this is close to the end of the Stardate. I guess like I'm gonna do more research in this to like explain this hopefully better. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to um, establish some chronology as to how like do these star dates are these star dates in order or are they just like naming numbers off like out of their ass like
oh, I definitely think it's the latter. I think by the time you get to the end of this, it's definitely going to be the latter.
continue though.
Okay. Well, one thing I left off is after that whole interrogation, that really should have ended in Goodkirk being relieved of duty
Mm-hmm.
and set aside while formal investigation occurs. Spock actually concluded that there has to be an imposter on board. So that's just
Which is it is smart upon Spock to
he.
put everything into context. However, It's also weird that he would come to that conclusion
at
after
after that
this.
conversation.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Like I got to it earlier. I was like, I think you have enough information to come to this conclusion
Yeah.
earlier. After this, I'm like, well, just as a matter of course, we
It,
gotta relieve him of duty.
it would have been best to have said after this, it's like, Captain, um, as first officer, I have to relieve you of duty due to the instances that have occurred. And this is not me being mutinous. This is not me
Yeah,
like screwing you in any way. Like I have to, based upon like established protocol.
yeah,
However, I will suggest that all the evidence that we have received leading up to this moment, including Yeoman Rand's testimony, is showing that it's a possibility that there could be a doppelganger on board.
yeah.
That is a possibility. So to eliminate said possibility, it would probably be best if I locked you inside of your quarters by yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And have people at your door to be able to say if you left these quarters or not. This would have been the logical thing to do,
Yeah,
Spock, as the logical person on board.
could have been. And I think in modern writing, that's what would have happened.
And then
But
if you see Captain Kirk out and then you like, hey, Ensign such and such, I put you in charge of like keeping an eye on Captain Kirk. He peeps it. Oh yeah, Captain Kirk's still in here. We have a doppelganger. It's been confirmed.
yeah, exactly. We can all move on. Anywho, they just conclude that that's what's going on, and they set out to apprehend EK. They can't risk unaliving him, which I didn't realize was on the table because Phaser set on stun. I thought was just a thing, but they have a big conversation
So,
about it.
still in the infancy of Star Trek, they haven't even talked about the Federation. They haven't even talked about the the United Planets. They haven't even talked about the Prime Directive. Like none of this stuff has been established at this point.
Tell the
So,
men to put the Glocks away, get the phasers out, set them on the minimum setting.
I think this is their best way of pointing this out.
Yeah,
Is my only way of going with this that makes any sense. It still doesn't, but like,
yeah, it's close enough. I mean, we're in effed up territory, so like we're
might as
good.
well keep going in there.
Yeah. And this is where I started to notice that Good Kurt is breaking down a little bit in determining what to do. They're talking about whether they should make a shipwide announcement that this is what we're doing. Spock's like, don't do that because you won't quite look like as captainy as you should look like. You won't hold up the image of a captain.
I somewhat agree with him on this, somewhat,
It,
but like I'm looking at other captains in Starfleet. Like Picard was really big on that. Like his image was everything. Cisco, I would argue that he did not give two craps about. However you thought about him was however you thought about him. He knows exactly who he is, so I don't give a darn what you think of me.
yeah,
Captain Janeway, it was discussed a number of times throughout the series of her maintaining her offness with the crew. It
yeah.
started off with like the removal of her captain's where she eats by herself
Oh, the
because
captain's
Neelix,
mess.
yeah, the captain's mess, yeah, because Neelix took that over to create the cooking area,
Yeah,
and whatnot, and then like it got to like where her and Chakotay was clearly doing each other, like I
consensually, thank God.
no consensually, 100% consensually, like they both wanted this, like, and whoever feels like that was not the case at me, like, dude, like they were clearly doing it, especially the episode where they contracted a disease and they were like
Oh, they definitely did.
on that planet by themselves, and like Chakotay created a whole freaking bathroom just for Captain Janeway. He created a bathroom, not just a tub. He created a bathroom. Like, manufactured this all by himself. Didn't even tell her. It's just like, this is a surprise for you, whatnot. Boom, boom, boom. The only man that I know that would do that is one that wants this woman. I hate to say that, but like that is what it is. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like it didn't stick, but they definitely and totally did.
and
So
and beyond that, like Archer, granted that was like Embassy Federation, so they didn't really like touch on that much. They even touched on it a bit when it came to like a Strange New World. Well, not necessarily Strange New Worlds, because Pike, Pike is Pike. I the more and more I'm thinking about this, the more and more I'm realizing that I would probably be a Pike captain and not a Cisco
so
captain.
okay, oddly enough, this is I'm gonna take a tangent. Hang in there.
Uh huh.
It's only gonna take like 90 seconds.
Hopefully, you're
Um,
timed.
I was thinking about leadership lessons in relation to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
Uh, as you know, we started off the year with one coach. We fired him 4 games
Mm-hmm.
in, and now we have the interim coach going. And one of the things I think that got caught up with the first coach is that he wasn't an authentic leader. And I think whatever it is, and this is me bringing it back,
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever it is you set yourself out to be as yourself as a leader, good, bad, or indifferent, if you just live up to it, if you walk your walk, then people will respect you as a leader. So if you're going to be the kind of leader that people are going to see your romantic relationships or
Mm-hmm.
see you grabbing a drink at the bar or whatever, as long as that's just like in your personality and you can live up to it and you can deliver in the moments like leaders should, then
Mm-hmm.
people will accept that. If you're going to be the kind that is a bit aloof, a bit
Mm-hmm.
separated and things like that because you're more private, then stay private. Just live up to it. So I don't think there's like one way to do it. I just think whatever you put out there as yourself as like, hey, here's my talk. Here's my talk about the walk I'm going to do here. And then you walk the walk, but don't ever make a talk that you can't walk as a leader because then
I
people
that is perfect. I have a zero notes to that. The only thing that I would say is like I'm pointing out like real life experiences from like the first time I was
yeah.
leader to the last time that I was a leader,
Mhm.
and I could tell you that both of those times like look totally different from one another
Yeah,
because
cuz
it's
you
like
evolve.
exactly.
Yeah.
But and plus the first time that I was a leader, I tried to mimic the leader that I uh, that mentored me the most, I
Yeah,
should say.
exactly.
That and I tried to mimic that person, and then after like leaving said leadership, going on to another position, I like self-analyzing and fully
Mhm.
like breaking it down. I realized that that wasn't truly me.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to this last point that I was a leader, it was like I'm truly going to be the person that I want to be, not necessarily who I was supposed to be. Yeah, I'm embodying some of the people that like
Yeah.
gave me good influences. Embodying them somewhat,
Yeah.
not completely being them. I'm being my person, the person that I know that I am, the
Yeah.
person that the compassionate Dante, the one that like actually loves people and like pays attention to who they are, where they want to become, what who they currently are right now, like looking at all that. So yeah, like I agree with that. That's like that's 100%. You don't need to be anybody else but who you are. So whatever who you are is embody that.
Yeah.
And whether other people like that or not, that's on them. That's not on you. You're being you.
Yeah.
So if they don't like you, all right, that's on you. I mean, you don't like me, you don't like me. I can't I
Yeah.
can't change that
If you're working
perception
at my
of you.
place or you're on my ship, you're stuck with
I
me.
mean, you're stuck with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I will get you out of here as soon as practical if
yeah,
that is what you want. But like,
yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I put my walk out there where you're gonna see me at 10 forward because that's just the kind of dude I am. And
I would
we're
be in
still,
10 for it too.
yeah, it's like, and you
100%.
know what? We're still gonna save the Federation from time to time
And I'm
because,
quote unquote buying around for the
yeah,
for the whole play. Like there's no currency in Star Trek at this point, but
Right,
still, like,
exactly.
I'm still buying around, like, drink for
Yeah.
everybody.
So I think if Kirk has been putting himself out there, to your point that you made offline that I'll
Hmm.
bring up now, that's a good point, which would be a better season two, season three episode so you could at least know if this is the kind of
Hmm.
leader. If he's been putting himself out there as like, I am the unquestioned leader, I have this image that I have to uphold because this is my walk and this is what I'm going to put out
Hmm.
there. And he's going to violate it by making a shipwide announcement to say, the transporter split me into two people, and you're going to see a bad part of me and a good part of me and know
Hmm.
me too well because I've been keeping that distance as consistent with my leadership style, then I totally get what Spock is saying. If he's saying that as just
Hmm.
a normative statement of leadership, then it's totally wrong.
I get it to a certain degree because as a leader, you do have to give that air of like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, you have to give the air of like you know everything.
Yeah,
Like,
you need to be competent.
it's
People need to
it's a
believe.
certain level of confidence,
Yeah, exactly.
like that they feel like they can come to you
Yeah.
about a situation. But one of the main things that I did in the last time I was a leader, when I fully came into myself as a leader, one of the things that I did was I tried to be as transparent as possible, not to the extent where you wouldn't like have faith in me, but to the point was like, if someone brought a new situation to me, I'd be like, huh, that's interesting. I've never dealt with this before. You know what? Let me find out and I'll get back to you. But like that last part was you know what? We're gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna find a solution. Just give me a moment to find said solution. And
Yeah.
that's really just me going back through the regulations, the policies, determining what we do in that situation, talking to another colleague that's also in my position, seeing
Mm-hmm.
if they've dealt with this particular situation and what they did or what not. Like, so I'm still coming to the conclusion and still giving a aura of like confidence that like, oh, this is gonna get fixed. Just give me some time to fix it.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, not giving off that like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What
No.
would you do in this situation?
Well, and this is where good Kirk gets to
Mm-hmm.
at some point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you want to
Yeah,
be.
I was setting that up for you.
Yeah. well, well, exactly. And so I agree with that. You want to like be in charge. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people need to respect you. Need to believe in your competence and the direction you can set. And yeah, like exude that confidence even when things
But
aren't
they,
there. But
but they were pointing out that confidence is like a negative trait. Oh,
yeah, oh, they were.
that just dawned on me as we were talking about this.
Yeah.
Like it's showing like, oh, if you're a goody two shoes, you don't have confidence
Yeah.
in yourself or the decisions that you make. That's the part that's kind of confusing to me with this.
Yeah. And also to that point, the importance of keeping Kirk in command, good Kirk in
Uh
command,
huh.
while he's going through this
Uh
was
huh.
never really established
Uh
either.
huh.
Because at any point in time, especially after Yeoman Rand's
Hmm.
accusation, you could just be like, okay, well then you need to set aside until we figure out what is going on. It's never that important for him to
It's
be in
not.
charge in this episode, and yet and still it's clung to pretty.
In TNG, this would have been done like totally different.
Yeah,
I believe in TNG, this would have been done totally different. Granted, there was some episodes of TNG that was like,
right. Well,
but
like,
I don't think there was anything like this that I can think of. Truly, a lot of
I
it was like female empowerment that I can think of, unless you have something on your head that I
I
can't
mean
think of.
they they deal with
Hmm.
SA in some episodes, and I'm sure they do some good stuff, they do some bad stuff, but no, no,
Not
I
to this
can't.
level.
I honestly am hoping that what we saw is the worst we're going to get.
I'm hoping. I'm not confident in
Anything,
that.
yeah, anything worse than this is gonna be pretty hard to deal with. I don't know what to say.
And this is going to be awful getting down to our ratings on this, which we'll get to that. It's This was tough.
Yeah. And also, there were like movies in the 80s where the actual act happens not consensually, or they're like fooling the woman who they thought they're having sex or having relations with. Sorry, you two.
Six.
with
Yeah.
with someone under false
Uh-huh.
pretenses or mistaken identity and things like that, and it's just like, that's disgusting. So I hope we don't get into that. I hope we avoid all that, even if they.
Wonder Woman 1984. It's what I think of off the top of my head,
Yeah,
which
that
is
was.
crazy on so many levels to me. Even though I fully believe that the guy whose body that he took over would have fully consented to that.
But we don't know.
We don't know.
And just like this episode, all they have is a moment at the end
Yes.
where he
Yes.
just kind of has to walk it off. Like,
Yes.
ugh. All right, let me keep going. Um, actually, I can't keep going because I got two notes here.
Oh no.
One is, despite the leadership conversation we just had, and
Uh-huh.
I get how you could go one way or another with it, part of me doesn't totally get it because I'm like, this is Star Trek. Weird stuff happens every day. Just tell the crew something weird happened. They should be
Mm-hmm.
prepared for weird. So I thought about that. And the other thing I mentioned was, if I was Fisher, I want to be on a search party and get my lick back. Like,
I forgot you pointed it out. Yeah.
I'm having one of the worst days in my career.
Yeah, Fisher is getting it. Like Fisher has gone through, and we haven't even checked what like rank he is, but like he is definitely gonna remember this throughout his Starfleet career. Um,
I ruined my uniform. I cut my hand. I nearly got beat to being unalive because I tried to stop an SA situation and call the first officer. And I came in and showed up like a G, as an ally to back up my crewman on what she saw. I'm going to Denzel. I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something.
Oh, I love that Denzel quote, by the
It's
way.
great. Like, okay, we getting phasers? Yeah, I want a phaser. I'm
Give
fuck,
me that.
yeah,
Give me that. Make sure it's set to stud. Oh, okay, weak.
yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, it's set to stud.
I'm getting some get back on this day.
Oh my god! Like
I've been to sick bay twice,
Kirk.
and on my second trip to sick bay, I had to back up a female crewmate as she was being unfairly interrogated by senior officers. I'm leaving here with something.
Kirk is at the bottom of my list at this point. If I'm Fisher, like I do not want to work for you. Like regardless of what happens after this fact, transfer me. Transfer me.
Pretty much. So, good Kirk basically orders Spock to keep correcting him if he continues to, foreshadowing,
Yeah.
gets more indecisive.
And it's crazy that he stated like he couldn't. He said something that was like Spock said something to him that like made total sense, and he was like, I don't know why I even didn't think of that right now,
Yeah,
which is suggesting more that the evil side of him would have thought of that. That's what the suggestion is.
but also the evil side of him has no impulse control.
Exactly. So it's basically saying this was a rational thought that you would have thought of in this situation, but your evil side would have came up with that rational thought. Wouldn't your
Meanwhile,
evil side come up with the irrational thought?
yeah, meanwhile, you're being positioned as the rational, more fearless one,
Exactly.
which is key to your survival in this episode. Yeah,
And I know I hear somebody typing. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to create a duality here. Like you need both sides of yourself. You need like these two sides of you make who you are. But I don't depict that as there's an evil side of me and there's a good side of me. And both of them I need them to make the I don't.
there's a side of me that respects consent. There's a side of me that doesn't.
Doesn't. Like, no, no. I look at this as the way that I've did this in my journey and understanding the who the hell I am is there's my dad's side of me and there's my mom's side of me. Both of them make up who the hell that I am. It's up to me to understand my dad. It's up to me to understand my mom and to realize how those two make up the person that I
Yeah.
currently am. Which I feel like that would have been more understanding. Granted, it wouldn't have made for good television. If I'm being honest,
I think it could have been
it
made for good television,
it's
especially
hard. I feel like it would be hard to like depict that.
um except they essentially it's a variation of that episode I was referring to
Uh huh.
earlier with Q and Picard and the stabby and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like, once you start evolving it to like it's the sum of your experiences that makes you who you are, so you shouldn't hate your experiences. Like,
Your experiences does make you a part of who you are. That's another aspect of it though. But
yeah,
like the base person of you, it does stem from your mom or your dad. Like I'm pretty sure there's a number of things that you've done. It's just like, huh, that's something my mom would have done, or huh, that's something my dad would have done. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Um,
but then like your experiences also evolves that to be
well, I guess
beyond what your mom and dad probably would have done in that situation.
yeah. Well, I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
also like saying experiences as experiences with your mom and experiences with your dad,
Oh, okay.
along with experiences you start
you
getting.
you've done without
Yeah,
them
exactly.
even being anywhere in the
Yeah,
equation. Yeah.
if you're trying to, maybe that's one of the main problems with this episode. They're trying to take on stuff
Yes.
that's too
Yes.
big, too
Yes.
so much bigger than what you can take on,
Yes.
even just in a episode of fiction. If you had all the words and time you needed to do with it,
And I would be remiss to say that we're probably analyzing this too hard. However, the situation of the essay and the grape that happened with this is making us analyze this way too hard
yeah,
because like they making it seem like that is a side of a person,
yeah,
like any person, really, like oh, uh, this is kind of breaking my brain.
yeah. I mean, we're coming back to where we were 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get off my high horse.
let's see. We've actually already said some of this. Okay, yeah. We said already the first sentence that I was about to say.
Hmm.
So Goodkirk announces the whole situation to the ship after seemingly them saying that they weren't going to do
Hmm.
that, but they did it anyway, and totally tips off Evil Kirk about the scratches on his face,
Yeah, yeah,
because for a while they were wearing different shirts around different people.
yeah.
He had the scratches, so like they were treating the audience
He
like
had
true idiots. Like this is the bad one and this is the good
the
one. Do
good
they?
one had the green chest hair out
Yeah,
shirt, and the bad one had the original like yellow command uniform
yeah.
on with the scratches. Uh, and I pointed this out to start to not start to Patrick, excuse me, while we were watching the episode. Um, it wasn't smart of him to point out the scratches to his face. Like to for everybody to hear, including the person that we're trying to get, because even in real life situations where the police are trying to determine who is the person that did whatever the situation that occurred,
Mm-hmm.
they don't give out certain key level information to the news, to even to the family who is aggrieved of the situation. Uh, they keep a lot of that stuff in house until it's been determined that, oh, this is the person that did it. Even then it's still I mean, you would know this better than I would. Even then it would still
Yeah, a
be
little
like
bit.
kind of a gray area of like what they can and can't say, because it could like
Yeah,
hurt their chances within the court
yeah.
as well. So like that that was stupid of them to like point that out within the situation.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're trying to like show this as like Good Kirk losing his edge or whatever, which is like a theme through the episode, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Spock reminds him that they need to use minimum phasers, and he makes that announcement. Evil Kirk yells, "I'm Captain Kirk" at the top of his
Yeah.
lungs, and immediately uses what we think is makeup to try to cover up the scratches.
Yeah, and I put in my notes, so we're just gonna use makeup to to cover this up?
Yeah,
Like,
regular Kirk just
uh,
has make it, which is
I'm
fine. I mean,
I'm
I'm not.
sure within this situation they have a like a dermal regenerator that can like heal skin and make it look like it once
Yeah,
was. So
I mean, at the end of the last Strange New Worlds season, Mbenga was rebuilding whole eyeballs for
yeah,
people. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, they definitely got something that can heal a scratch. Um, he starts. Evil Kirk starts to leave the. It's somehow gotten easier to say Evil Kirk, so and Good
Yeah,
Kirk. So I don't
this
know.
evil Kirk and good Kirk.
Yeah, Evil Kirk starts to leave. I guess all total Kirk's
Hmm.
quarters, and he sees Wilson, the red-shirted rando from earlier that was helping Scotty in the transporter room, and
Hmm.
demands that he gives him his phaser.
So I have to point this out. I have to point this out as the unpopular black gamer.
Hmm.
Wilson is black.
Yes,
Uh, no black man in this situation would have given Kirk his pacer.
I think speaking for black men, yes, we wouldn't. I also think
Oh,
anyone who
this is one of those like crazy situations where I am speaking for all black men.
no, no, I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm also expanding the circle because I think also if you just have a brain in this situation,
100%.
then first off, you got an announcement from the bridge,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you're not on the bridge. You're down by his quarters when you run into him.
And you could tell that he was conflicted too. Like he
Yeah,
didn't really want to do it,
yeah.
but he did it anyways. But like in his mind, he was like, "It's a fake." Why did you still do it, bruh? Like, why didn't you just like come up with a excuse to like?
We talked, yeah, we talked offline about that. Like, I would have been like, let me get to the armory and get you one, and then
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's funny because I was like, and then call Spock like on the way, and it's funny because there's actually a communication
yeah. We
little
actually saw that in
panel
the frame
like right behind him. I'm
when we
like,
paused it to like write our notes
yeah,
down.
it's like no, don't turn around and call Spock from that one. Go away, like go around the corner and call him from a different one, so that evil Kirk doesn't see you doing it. Yeah, there's no way you can listen to that announcement. Be you black, white, Asian, male, female, or whatever. And you're just using any amount of critical thinking and being like, I just got an announcement from the bridge, from Kirk, from the
Hmm.
bridge, that there's an evil Kirk around here somewhere, and now a Kirk is talking to me, not on the bridge, asking for my gun.
Regardless of whether I saw those scratches or not, regardless of whether I saw, sir, yeah, I'm gonna get you one from the armory. Wait right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say whatever I need to say to get out of the situation,
I
or I'm gonna shoot him.
look, Captain, I got you, Captain. You're my boy.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna give me your face? No, no. I need this for protection myself.
It's
Like,
also not even that good.
and regulations dictate that I should not give up my phaser to anyone.
Hmm.
Um, you can throw that BS out there. like, um, I don't. If no black man in this situation would have done this. No rational person in this situation would have
Yeah,
done this.
that's all I was doing was
No,
expanding the circle a little bit.
no male or female rational person in this situation would have done this. I'm making the joke that like no black man would have done this, but like if you're thinking with your common sense, your brain, you would have looked at this like you are aggressively asking for this phaser.
There's no way if it was a Hura walking through there, that she would have ever given him this gun.
Patrick, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was, what was his name, ensign or lieutenant or
Well, they never said his rank. His
no
just
no
last
rank,
name is Wilson.
Wilson. If I was Wilson, I would have instantly shot
Well,
Captain
that's what I was
Kirk.
saying. I'm
Like
like,
instantly.
I'm either going,
I'm on stun, so I'm not killing him.
yeah,
Yeah, I just shot the captain. Yeah, I'll have to deal with that later. But like afterwards, I could just be like, Captain, I didn't know if it was you or the doppelganger. Like, you just announced that the scratches on your he could have done anything to like cover up those scratches. I was error on the side of caution.
Yeah,
Like,
I said
it
this.
could have been explained away afterwards.
I said like I either am going to try to get away to
Yeah,
figure out what's going on and call Spock, or I'm just gonna cap him the minute I pull my gun to give it to him.
yeah.
Like,
I think we're of like mind on that
yeah,
one. Like get. No, no. I don't even want to. I don't even want to try to like. I don't even want to try to think like if this is the right person or not. Uh, I no, just get rid of him. Take him to sick bay. We'll talk about this afterwards. Whether I effed up or not, then I'll own up to it at that point. Whatever happens, happens. But like, I don't think Starfleet Command. I know Starfleet hasn't been talked about or Federation has been talked about, but like, we're going on the side that like Starfleet is a thing.
yeah.
Uh, I don't think Starfleet Command would have really faulted me in this situation after explaining the full breadth
Yeah.
of the
You
situation.
announced to the ship that we're looking for
Mm-hmm.
a Kirk imposter.
Mm-hmm.
I capped Kirk in a way that he wasn't going to be unalive,
Mm-hmm.
and I just let it all sort out on whether I got the imposter or not. Instead, Wilson hands over his gun like a dummy and then
Mm.
gets his ass immediately whooped by evil Kirk.
Yes,
And I know, sorry, Mom, I dropped that word, but that's just what happened.
that's exactly what happened.
I love that I talk about this like my mom would ever listen to any of this.
It's possible.
It is possible. Meanwhile, Sulu and the Randos are preparing to survive on the planet, which is not how I originally was going to write it. I originally wrote preparing to unalive the planet.
Dang. I was okay. Full context. I keep up with the tally of who is unalive in every episode of TOS because there is this stigma that red shirts get unalived at the most rate. So I from the beginning of this, I have made sure to write down a given tally, and so far in this episode, no one has been unalive. So far at this point that we are
I
at
think we
right
get through
now.
the whole episode, and the only unaliving that happens.
Oh, don't point it out. We're getting there.
Okay.
Don't point it out. We're getting there. But like so far at this point right now, no one has been unalive.
There have
And
been.
we are thinking that one of these people on this planet is going to get one or two or three or five of these people are going to get unalived on this planet.
Was, and it's interesting because there's been attempted SA,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and there's been two fairly severe
Mm-hmm.
beatings handed out. But so far, everyone has lived.
Everyone has lived.
And I don't know.
No one's unaccounted for.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. To be quite honest, like this is bringing up questions of morality and comparing harms in a way that I really don't want Star Trek to bring up. To be honest with you, but we're here.
The next scene is interesting too because it points out a plot point that we talked about.
Okay, there's also one that I think I haven't mentioned yet, but
Uh-huh.
let's see if we. Yeah, you probably have something in your notes. Sulu says it's getting cold,
Uh-huh. This is
and
the scene. Uh-huh.
yeah, Spock explains that oh yeah, that the duplication keeps the heaters from working. So they
Yes,
sent down some
because we
heaters.
we pointed out like what they didn't send out any heaters or whatnot. So
Yeah.
so and this is where I got to point out something like big in my notes that was not pointed out.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have shuttlecraft.
Okay. I want you to read what's in my notes right here.
Right, where?
I made it. I wrote these live.
Wait, where you at? Like, meanwhile, Sulu, they receive report about Wilson. They guess the EK is in lower deck.
No, 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 right here
Okay.
in the parenthetical.
So how about a shuttlecraft Actually, why don't they just send a shuttle for them? So we were of like mind at this point.
We didn't say
Like
it,
we didn't
but
say
yeah.
it. So we try to keep as much from each other as possible to not have the episode offline.
Yeah.
So we try to, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna save this for the podcast. There's a such thing as a shuttlecraft. Like every time that we saw the transporter go offline in any of the previous Star Treks, they took a shuttlecraft.
Just took a shuttlecraft.
Like this not a thing now. Like we
So,
we don't have those.
it's interesting. I think there's a real life answer in that yes, they don't have those in real life because they invented the transporter to keep from having to like film different sets of people going up and down the planet on shuttlecraft.
But
So it's a plug. But yes, in the Star Trek world, plenty of shuttlecrafts, tons of them.
but at that point, like okay, I can understand it from a real life standpoint, a production
Yeah,
being able to create this. They probably
but
didn't
in
have
story,
the money to be able to create the set, or this wasn't even like a set that was even thought of or whatnot. But it's like, it's crazy to me that this wasn't even a thing.
like they didn't even
Knowing
write.
Star Trek the way that we know.
They could have written a throwaway line about atmosphere being too dense for a pilot. We don't have Ortegas anymore on the ship, so no one's good enough to get down there. Like, I don't know.
A number of
Something
things.
that is like, we can't use the
Oh,
shuttlecraft for.
Captain Kirk would have been the best pilot actually to do this, but since he's been split, he's not in the capacity to be able to pilot said shuttle, and we don't have anybody else on board. Like,
The space dog defecated on the shuttlecraft impulse engines. We don't care what the
it's gonna take a week to get the impulse engines for the shuttle back online because the space dog defecated.
We don't care.
I would have loved that explanation more.
Yeah, we lost track of them.
No, it was the evil space dog. Somehow the evil space dog got out and never got out of the show.
It's like we don't know what this thing eats, but good God.
Good God, did it like destroy the show?
It's like I do not want to be the instance that have to.
No one wants to be in there. It smells horrid.
So shuttlecrafts are not an option.
That is funny that we both put that down.
I immediately wrote that down when I was thinking about how to get the heaters to the planet. I'm like, oh yeah, take a shuttlecraft. Wait, why doesn't that just solve the whole problem? Just go get them.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
We destroyed the whole ticking time clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for that one.
The drama is totally contrived at this point. So yeah, they receive some report about Wilson. Wilson reports that he got whooped by Captain. I almost said Captain Picard.
I do want to point out that in my notes. So
we don't know is this technology that has been. I don't think there's been a shuttlecraft in any of the episodes.
Shuttlecraft has not been introduced up to this point. I remember that, but like I had to put that down in my notes. Like, so we don't have a shuttlecraft. Is this technology not been introduced?
Of course, if you count Discovery and Strange New Worlds as the prequels, we've seen plenty of shuttlecraft at this point. But
2020's production versus 1960s.
Chronologically, I don't think they've even built.
They haven't even imagined this at this point. I don't think. At least I don't think.
So basically, they learned that Wilson let Evil Kirk get away and handed him his gun just to help him out.
Mm-hmm.
And Good Kirk guesses that Evil Kirk is in the lower decks of engineering with Boimler and Mariner.
Hilarious.
So Spock and Kirk, all by themselves, decide to go investigate.
Don't tell anybody. Don't even tell.
Well, and actually,
McCoy, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we think is going to happen. Like, at least McCoy.
Yeah.
McCoy is the one person that would be the best person to tell in this situation.
Yeah. Well, you might be coming back with injuries. We're going after Evil Kirk.
Or you might not hear from me after this. So someone else needs to know.
Yeah. Someone needs to tell Scotty he's in charge if we both don't come back from this. Good Kirk is slow to pull his phaser, and they don't get help for some BS reason. They have a conversation about why they don't bring more people to apprehend Evil Kirk. Evil Kirk spying on him. He gets the drop on Good Kirk. They stare at each other and they're stunt doubles.
Oh,
Um,
those stunt doubles are terrible.
I mean,
Like,
like, and the funny thing is, they're
so,
up to your point.
okay. I know where you're going. I know where you're going, but I
Okay.
do have to point out 1960 television. We are watching this on an OLED TV with 4K viewing
So you think if we
that's
had,
been remastered to all heck. Yes,
you think if we had a blurrier 1960s
1960s
television,
tube television, probably black and white, because color television wasn't like only the rich had color television
even in the
at this point.
60s,
I think in the 60s.
in the
I
late
would have
60s,
to
okay.
look at that to see like when color television was a thing and
I only know it was invented in the early 50s. I don't know when it became scalable and
okay,
mass.
okay, so it was in the
Yeah,
50s. Granted, like if you were rich, that's
you had color
you had
TV.
color TV.
But even then, you might not have had a color broadcast because that was even,
Yes, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. So we're looking at it from that standpoint, and if I'm thinking, and the only thing that made me think about this is because I'm thinking of like
Hmm.
PlayStation One games that I like truly, really, really loved,
Yeah.
that I really loved playing back then, and then like now, like then I found like a way of like playing those games through emulation and playing it on a 1080p or 4K television, and I'm like, I am seeing every bad thing that I did not see around that time. But that's basically because the technology is totally different from that time to now. So I'm
Gotcha.
able to see that thing, and plus my mind has also switched over too.
Yeah.
So if we had saw this in the 1960s, we probably wouldn't even like,
They probably would have gotten away with it.
yeah.
I can get on with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Um,
But it was still funny.
it was still funny to see stunt doubles that don't even look remotely like they might as well use people of different races.
Not even close.
It was so easy to spot.
It's funny because that Black Dynamite, those Black Dynamite scenes where they like showed uh, the stunt double being switched for the actual actor, and it was like a totally different person. You could definitely tell, totally different person, totally different skin tone, totally different hairstyle, totally like they did it on purpose. This is a spoof of those era movies or whatnot. So like it's funny like that joke hits harder now
Yeah,
looking
exactly.
at this.
Um, Good Kirk somehow concludes that Evil Kirk won't hurt him, and then very predictably, Evil Kirk fired a full set to unalive blast
Yes.
at him, but he missed because
Spock,
Spock at the last second nerve pinches him, and instead he hits a piece of equipment that's down there.
which we learned later that that piece of equipment
It was
was
pretty
actually
important.
pretty important.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I joined because I realized you hadn't joined yet to make sure that the stream was right. And as soon as I joined, a second came in. I think it's related to when I joined.
It's a possibility.
Maybe it's just double counting me.
It's a possibility.
Anywho, if you are a person, please say something in the chat. We would love to know, but whatever.
We can see that on screen.
Um, okay, what are we doing? Okay, hit him with a nerve pinch.
Yeah.
So we're back in sick bay. Bones doesn't want to give him a sedative, so they tie him down. Spock is marveling at the mystery of the fact that this just isn't, and I think this is where they try to split out a little bit, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
this just isn't an imposter, which is what they call him. So it's not just an evil Kirk or a good Kirk. It's actually like he's starting to realize it's actually just two sides of Kirk. One is a absolute menace, attempted R word ist, and the other is someone who,
Douchebag.
yeah, the other is someone who can't make decisions.
Without the douchebag, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. They later try to say like, well, you're the one that faced the situation without fear, and you're the one that figured out
terrible.
what they were going to be. So they gave him like more positive qualities, but like yeah,
This is a 1960 version of like the two sides of yourself. That
yeah,
is just like terrible.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's see. Yeah, so we seemingly both need him. We get a report from Scotty that Evil Kirk shot a transporter thing, and now the transporter even doesn't work, even worse than it was before. Whatever they said.
Yeah, so when Evil Kirk shot it at Good Kirk and Spock saved him, apparently that piece of technology that they hit just so happened to be related to the transporter.
Yeah,
And apparently it was going to take what I think they said a week to fix.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna take a week to repair. In between, we learn that Sulu is near freezing, because there's a lot of little conversations between Sulu and Kirk where they make little jokes,
Mm-hmm.
and Sulu's like, "Yeah, these jokes are funny. I still am freezing to the point of being unalive in a bit here, but whatever." Um, on the planet, I noted this because we see this later in Star Trek, and I guess it's the first time ever. Sulu uses a phaser to heat some rocks to stay warm,
Yeah,
and
that
then
that was the first time that they showed this.
yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good point to point out. Well, I did point out that within the situation, I thought it was strange that like survival tactics didn't come into place. Which one of the survival tactics is to find like some type of shelter or cover uh, to hunker down in, and then you would create said warmth to like so it's crazy that like they didn't find a cave or didn't use those colorful tents that they had at the beginning of the episode to like use
yeah,
as cover before they created some something that would give them some level of warmth.
they very much acted like they had to be right there to be beamed out
Yes,
without being established.
yes,
Which I think in any Trek after this, there's a throwaway line on why we can't use shuttles. There's a
yes.
throwaway line why they can't take cover, and it's just
The,
like okay, it's all contrived, but we've said it now. Make it entertaining,
the
but
throwaway line of like they can use shows like the atmosphere does gives off some type of radiation particles that's like terrible to shuttles and so they can't fly those down. The other one is where they can go to a cave would be like well we we were only able to transport in this particular area, and any area outside of this area we wouldn't be able to locate said people without pattern enhancers. Like
yeah.
there was a
Well, I
number
mean,
of
there's
things.
other versions of it. There's a dangerous beast in the
Yeah,
cave.
or something like
There's
that. Yeah,
dangerous radiation in
yeah.
the cave. Like Star Trek has figured out many ways of why you have to stay exposed, but not at this point because it's episode 6.
And to that point, I think we're figuring out like that Gene Roddenberry and the people that like went with them over to the next generation understood that some of the things that they explained in the 60s version of Star Trek need to be explained deeper or more thorough
Yeah,
than what they did back then.
because it doesn't matter what reason you put out there. It's a fictional show,
Yes,
so
yes.
like you just got to say we can't do this for blah 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 reason. Honestly, when I'm watching Star Trek, whenever they go, we can't do the obvious thing to save the situation.
It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, like they say techno babble or something like
Yeah.
that. I'm just like, okay, well, they said they can't do it, so that's fine.
They can't do it, so they can't
Some
do it.
Star Trek
Whatever.
fans listen to the explanation and are like, well, that doesn't make sense because in this, and I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. I mean, it's they created the show, so they can do whatever with it that they want to go
Yeah,
with. Like, so they want to make it to where it's hard for them to uh, use a space shuttle or to even like beam them aboard. Like, yeah, you can do that.
yeah. I also noted here, why didn't they bring winter survival gear just in case they got stuck on the planet? Um, I don't think that's a level of preparedness that happens
No,
later in Star Trek, but it is just kind of like
well, no,
a thing that crossed my mind.
I still think even later in Star Trek they would have been like, oh, we'll be gone well before
No, that's what I'm saying.
that even occurs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
saying
oh,
like
okay.
they wouldn't do that later in
Yeah.
third. So I'm not like holding it against them. I'm just like it's an interesting thing that you didn't. Um, Sulu calls in for another update, and Good Kirk isn't handling it well. Spock jumps in to give them some orders. these orders are totally not helpful because he's basically like, just keep living. Uh,
Try not to pass
yeah,
away.
exactly. Bones discovers that Evil Kirk is his vitals are fading. Um, Good Kirk holds his hand and gives him a good speech that brings Evil Kirk back, and they realize that they need each other. And over some sorry and brandy, they reconcile the fact that, or Bones and Good Kirk reconcile with each other about the fact that he needs Evil Kirk in order to be a complete Kirk, which is effed up based on reasons we've said before.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, Spock calls Kirk to the transporter room, and they want to use something connected to the impulse engines, which I only noted that because I think that's the first time
It's
I've heard them say
it's a
impulse engines.
terrible explanation of how they bypass this system to work.
I quite frankly have no idea what they said. I
I'm
was
thinking
just
to
like,
myself the whole time, I'm pretty sure this wouldn't work in real life. But we're using we're
it's
using
what we just said.
fictional.
They said it will work, so it'll work, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we're using like this is a made up world, so we're using made up principles. Well, to a certain degree, they are based off of real life principles in a certain to a certain
yeah,
degree. But like, still, this is like made up science. So we're using made up science. So whatever they explain for said made up science, like we can't really like scrutinize, I should
right.
say. But it just still didn't sound like it was something that would work. If I'm being honest with you.
Well, I mean, it didn't, quite frankly, because the first test of it was on the Space Dog, and
So that
we will welcome you to the one casualty from this episode.
that hurt my heart. And by the way, I did add this casualty as a plus one to the unknown. So like, uh, if you are going against this, please let me know. But I'm just gonna let you know I don't care. So it's being added to the unknown category. So I added a plus one. By the way, at the beginning of this episode, we were at blue shirts at 4 that's passed, red shirts at 1 that's passed, yellow shirts at 6 that's passed, and unknown at 27 that's passed. So plus this one would bring it to 28.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that breaks the rule a little bit is that unknown has been off-screen
Off
people,
screen.
and this happened on
This
screen.
didn't happen off screen. Yeah, I'll give you
But
that.
I won't
I
I
mean, a
won't
lot of
begrudge
it
you.
is like off screen or like they had a uniform on that didn't suggest whether they were a red or blue or a gold shirt. So we put them in the unknown category. So that's why I love dogs. Screw that. I love dogs. I have 2 little ones that I love very much. The unaliving of this dog was just like, nope, I'm adding that. Like,
Yeah,
cause this was a person. they they were part of this crew. I don't care what you were saying at me. I don't care.
yeah.
They're at it.
I'm gonna call him Durag Spock because he's still wearing a phaser. Lieutenant Commander
Oh,
Tupac.
Tupac. Yeah.
He's wearing a phaser for no reason. They've already captured Evil Kirk, so he's just got a gun on him for
Hey,
whatever.
hey, he got to make sure
It
you got
kind of
to
makes me think they shot it out of order.
you
They
got to
didn't.
stay ready to be ready. Okay. All right. All right. You can't catch Commander Tupac off guard. Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Um, he makes an entry into the captain's log because he can, I guess. Um, Back in sick bay.
Mhm. Oh yeah. So that part was interesting to me, and
Hmm.
how he didn't say acting captain's log like how we normally would do it. Um, he just said captain's log, and then he pointed out why Kirk could not make said log.
Right.
So, which would suggest that he is technically in command, technically, but not really.
Yeah, he's not. It's real loose right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not. He should have been making an entry into his own log unless he's taking command of the ship.
Yes. Yeah. But they,
Uh,
but they haven't established that at this
yeah.
point.
Well,
So
there's also a ship's log. I think in later Star Trek that if you are just the person that's there,
Yeah, yeah, but
You
that's
can,
if someone is not part of the crew and they're on board, or it's like a temporary assignment. So they do it like a ship's log,
well, but
start date, da 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 da
you
da.
can enter something into the ship's log to say this is something that's going on the ship
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
right now,
because
and
it's
I'm
all a
entering this.
report back to Starfleet.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Without it necessarily being in the captain's log or your personal log. Which I guess be careful what you
Which
put in those, but
which is why I'm glad that they differentiate that in future Star Trek, like
yeah,
Captain's log, start date, da da da, or they'll say Captain's personal log,
yeah,
start date, da 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 da. Like I'm glad that they do differentiate that in the future to make sense as to uh, not necessarily why they're doing it, but like just differentiate like what incapacity in
yeah.
that they
What
are
is going
doing
on?
this in.
Yeah, who is in
Yeah,
charge versus am I just listening to someone's opinion on something? Like,
yeah.
yeah. So they're talking about examining the space dog, and Spock theorizes that the reason why the space dog didn't make it is because it didn't have the mental capacity to avoid the shock to the system, to rationalize the shock to the system that it was going through,
I
and that
would give him that analysis.
I would agree.
I
You can totally freak out
as
as
much as I didn't like the space dog not surviving the situation, the analysis was not stupid.
no,
I guess is the best way I could put it.
no. Spock comes to a very reasonable conclusion. As
Yeah.
a human, you should be able to process what's going on, which means you should be able to survive it. Also, we're running the f out of time because
Yes.
we got people freezing
Yes.
on this planet, so we don't really have time for this examination
So
of the dog.
I did put in my notes in this situation that it's crazy to me um, how the doctors, like in every Star Trek, really, always point out a crazy aspect to the situation that they're currently in. It's like, oh, I care about this one life right here, right now, but don't care about all the multitude of lives that would be affected by this one decision that you made.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not really their role. So, like, I get why they do it, and if they don't do it, nobody's going to say it. So, like,
But it's like, okay, McCoy was like really strong on the fact of like the captain not doing something irrational that
yeah,
could
because his whole point,
off him, but Spock had a, like a pure like he has a pure objective as to why they should go forward with this. As the people on the planet also matter too.
yeah,
Like
well,
if we don't do this to fix the issue, then we can't get them on board either.
well, Bones is basically like, if it was not, if it was something else beside the shock that we don't know, then we're taking a big risk with the captain's life.
Yes.
And I'm fairly sure on some level he's like, I'm supposed to get the captain in and out of the missions as the medical officer.
I
So
mean, yeah, to a certain degree, like, yeah, he has to make sure that like people stay alive, 100%. But also at the same time, like, don't doctors have to look at like everybody, not just one person? Granted, I don't know this because I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the
I don't know
medical
either.
field.
We're also not like in the military, so like,
Yeah,
or
that yeah,
in a
that's
military esque organization to sort out what Bones'
that's
actual
fair.
directive
That's
is in this
fair.
situation.
That's fair.
Let's see. So they have that conversation. Goodkirk goes back and forth on which way he should decide. Eventually, he resolves that he wants Spock to get the transporter room ready, but then tells Bones to continue with the examination,
Yeah, he
which
basically says both, but like I'm going for it with the more riskier option. But if you can give me a conclusive explanation before we get to this riskier option, I would welcome
which
that.
is the right thing to do. It's like,
Yeah,
look,
that's the best direction to
you
go.
got like 10 minutes to do this examination, or I got to do this because
And so I notated like earlier that they were pointing out that pretty much the rational side of command would they're stating like this comes from the negative side, but in this point in this situation, the good side of Kirk actually came up with a rational plan for this, a rational answer to this plan,
Yeah,
I should say.
they have shown in this series with Spock, who eventually makes who oh shoot, I don't want to overlook that. Makes an excellent point about being half human, half Vulcan,
He does
and
point that out in
having to
this episode.
use the
Yes,
two to synthesize, and that's how I know that
yes.
if you have the brain to synthesize two parts of a situation, then you can survive it because I do it every day. Um, I
Hmm.
wanted to note that, but I forgot my original point I was going to make.
Well,
Um,
I do want to keep in mind like there are a number of things that we've pointed out with this series that we wanted to like. These are reminders,
yeah,
like things that we need to pay attention to going forward. One, they haven't pointed out like whether this is Starfleet or the Federation. In this episode, they still haven't pointed that out. Another thing was they haven't stated whether Spock was half human or not. They alluded to it in the previous episode, but they didn't necessarily like state it. This episode they did
yeah,
finally. So like now episode 6, like we know that Spock is half Vulcan, half human, and that both of those sides like pretty much conflict with one another.
yeah.
So he states it with his own breath. Like other things that we also like, I do want to point this out. Like there are no antagonists, like strong antagonists that's been pointed out at this
Yeah,
point, like
no
the Klingons,
Klingons, no Romulans. Yeah,
Romulans, things of that concern. So we do want to like determine like when they came about within
I'm
the
waiting for the
series.
Borg episode.
There's
We'll
no
see.
Borgers episode. That was
Oh, I
that
can hold out hope.
that's TNG. That's
I can go
TNG.
into Sora and make a
I know
Borg
that
episode of TOS.
I know they pointed it out in Enterprise, but like true, really, it was pointed out in TNG.
I would like to stay for the record. Yes, I know that the Borg appear decades later for the first time
He
in
does.
Star Trek.
It's a joke that he made offline too. So
Oh, and what I was going to say is that I don't think this series as a whole has done, and I don't think
hmm
Strange New Worlds gets better at it. So I think it's even a current issue. I don't think they get the whole logical versus emotional, versus ethical, like thing.
they
Like
haven't like that
it,
definitely has not been fleshed
it,
out at
it
this
has
point.
it is never right so
Strange New
far.
Worlds is better at it in a way, but it's still like still kind of off putting. Granted,
Yeah,
like we're doing our rewatch of TOS to see like did they do a good job of this or not. And so far, we did feel like that they
so
did,
far so
especially
good.
from the last episode. This episode, there are certain situations that I'm just like, Strange New World Spock would not have done this.
Yeah,
The essay moment when confronting Captain Kirk, I
and
don't think.
especially what he does at the end.
Yes, the end part is where well, like that. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. Okay. So Good Kirk and Sulu have another conversation where it's really impressed upon Good Kirk for whatever reason he doesn't understand
hmm
that time is running out. Now he really gets that time is running out. He frees Evil Kirk and they fight for a little bit and um, Evil
Isn't
Kirk beats him obviously.
Isn't before this they talk about whether he's going to relinquish command or not?
There is a brief conversation. Basically, they say to him like you can make the decision on whether to go through the transporter thing without
hmm
the examination completed if you're captain. If you don't relinquish command, then we
hmm
can't make a decision for you.
hmm
So you either need to relinquish command and we'll decide for you on what to do. Because he gets up and he's like, I just need someone to make a decision.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can
And
do
are
that
you
for you.
relinquishing command?
Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, okay, well then,
You're going to have to make the decision.
yeah.
But there was another part. I don't think it was within the scene, but it was probably the scene before that. That when you were, I think it was like when they were talking about the doing an autopsy of the dog, and
Oh,
she
I was
was
like,
like, "How long does an autopsy take?" So there was actually one situation that they pointed out in D Space Nine where Bashir, it was when Benedict Burrell had quote unquote passed away,
mm-hmm.
and they started doing the whole examination of autopsy, and they started going into it. So autopsy are not quick. They're not quick. So they're like trying to make sure like did this person pass away the exact way that they said that they were going to do that they were. Uh, Putting that towards like previous scans of their body or whatever was considered to be the point that deceased them, whether it was their brain or not. Like they're examining this all to a T to come to a full conclusion of like this is how that person uh, did get unalived.
Yeah,
So it isn't something that's quick. It isn't something that could take like 30 minutes. Oh yeah, we determined this. It is something that could take hours to determine.
okay. I mean,
Even in a situation, and I'm only pointing out like D Space Nine because that's like further into the future, and it wasn't like he just like computer scan the body. All right, put this against previous scans of the body. How can you determine how this person was alive? Like they didn't do this. He actually did the full examination, and he started with like, okay, da 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 da, before Vedic Baral like like came back to life. It was just like, oh crap, like so it it showed me in that situation that I feel like the principles of the 24th century Star Trek still follow some of the same principles of the 19th, 20th century real life.
yeah. I think first off, I think that's a great point, and I accept it. I accept it for the situation. And all I'm saying is, I think you're just trying as a doctor to get to something to give your captain confidence that you just need to do this to save these people's life on the planet. And I think it goes back to your earlier point of what is Bones's stated role in this, quite frankly.
But you don't want to come to a rush judgment, though.
And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to give him conclusive data
yeah,
as to this decision that he's going to make.
because it's my role to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, so Good Kirk frees Evil Kirk. They fight for a second. Evil Kirk wins. Um, he puts on the green shirt, gives Good Kirk some scratches, so now they look basically the same.
Basically identical.
Yeah, until their stunt doubles get involved,
It was
then they
actually.
look.
I feel like this was actually just a cheap way of like doing it in production where we can finish these scenes and we don't have to do like a different Kirk every time we show Kirk.
Oh, that's right.
It's like, oh, same makeup Kirk. All right.
We've been filming this episode for 10 weeks. We need to get this wrapped up. Um, he runs into Rand and basically harasses her again.
Oh,
Ends
100%.
ends that with like, "Can I stop by your quarters
Oh
to
my god.
explain
Oh, I
more?"
think that was part 3 or 4. I think I think I'm gonna have to add that as 3 or 4.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
I know it was a quick and quote unquote simple
He is actually
scene.
explaining to her what actually happened,
Yeah.
but then ends it with something where
Can
like
I come by your quarters to discuss?
even Rand's probably
Oh.
like, "Well, I think that was definitely the evil Kirk."
Yeah.
By the end of it, um, evil Kirk gets on the bridge and is planning and says he wants to leave the planet. Spock doesn't catch on to the fact that somehow Good Kirk has turned very authoritative,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
and basically he gives the orders for them to leave. But before they can leave, Good Kirk shows up with Bones. They have a
Mm-hmm.
showdown on the bridge. Some dialogue is exchanged. Um, we uh, they basically realize that they need each other. Evil Kirk says he wants to live. We have like a reverse Tuvix situation going on right now. They hug it out, quite frankly, and they go to the transporter. Spock engages the
Oh, you mean the
transporter.
hug with the terrible body double?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The one that has the graying hair that William Shatner didn't
Yeah,
have
William
at the
Shatner did
time.
not have at the time. Okay.
Uh,
We
they,
couldn't like put in highlights or like dye his hair to at least like
Go
look
back to what
like
you said about the fact that it was like a maybe even a black and white
still.
small
Oh,
tube
okay, black and white.
television
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
looking at.
Yeah. Okay, black and white. I can see that.
Yeah. Um, Spock engages the transporter, gives it a beat,
Oh, a long
gives
beat,
it a beat,
a low beat. And
gives it another beat.
if he did not give it this beat, I was gonna be upset
Yeah.
because he did. This is what happened earlier in the episode when the dog passed away.
Yes. Gave it one more beat. Let's all give it another beat. Gives it a
Wait,
beat.
wait, one more moment. One more. Wait. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Yeah,
It has to marinate. It has
gotta
to
let it
marinate
marinate.
in the
Gotta
buffer.
let it marinate.
Gotta let it marinate in the buffer. Like
It's like a
this.
souffle. If you take it out too soon, it's gonna fall.
It's really,
Give it a
okay.
minute.
Okay. I know we're being obnoxious right here.
I mean,
but like,
Sulu is freezing on this planet. But give it a beat.
it took way too long for them to get past this part.
And they did
Like
it twice.
twice. Like it in previous heck, there was one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where Pulaski had to be
Yes.
de-aged, and there was no beat or anything taken. It was like almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
So why did we have to wait so long? Like draw this scene out
I
like
mean,
this?
it was literally like, and I don't know if literal is the right word because I don't remember the scene shot for shot.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
stare at the transporter, stare at the console, stare at Spock, stare at Bones, staring at Spock, back to the transporter, back to Spock. It was just like, I was like,
All
how?
facts. All facts.
I was like, how much longer are we going to do this?
I was expecting Bones to just be like, damn it, man, just energize him back.
It's like, what did you do? Hit Control Alt Delete? Like, what is this? Anywho, this time it works. Good Kirk and Evil Kirk are back together. We got decisive, morally guided Kirk with his inner S
Yeah,
air
like,
in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they beam everyone up.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is, yeah.
Cut
I
to
forgot
scene
about
on the bridge. I don't even totally know exactly what's going on, but Rand runs into Kirk, who still has the scratches on his face because he hasn't been to sickbay yet. And
Rand
they
is,
basically set it up where like Rand was about to apologize.
yes, yes. Rand explains that Evil Kirk explained to her what had occurred. And she was about to apologize for her essaying.
Which is a thing that happened. It's not like it didn't happen. It wasn't a false accusation. What happened to her happened to her. So there was nothing for her to apologize for.
And this is part two of our Four Lights moment. Because it's
Yeah.
like, in this situation, the proper way of really taking care of this would have been Kirk apologizing to Rand
Yes.
and saying he was not himself. That was a doppelganger of him. I am sorry. I am purely sorry that that is something that occurred.
Yeah.
That is something that happened to you. And I don't know how long it's going to take for me to make this up, to help you get past this. But I just want you to know that I am completely and totally sorry. And it would have showed a more humanizing moment of Captain Kirk within a situation, being aware that there was one side of him that was being a dick and being way uncharacteristic of the Kirk that we're supposed to know,
Yeah.
and doing something that's incomprehensible,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to the point of having Ensign Rand cry. She is crying, which shows that she is emotionally disrupted by this situation.
Because it happened.
It happened.
With a not a robot or
Mm-mm,
an
mm-mm,
android or something like that, with an actual
mm-mm,
Kirk, flesh and blood. Like,
mm-mm.
there's no way to mitigate the situation, and the episode puts her in the position where she feel like she needs to apologize, and then Spock just kind of tells her to walk it off,
That part with
rub
Spock
some
at the
dirt on it, and
end,
walk it off.
and he smiled when he said it. Like he said something to the effect of like, uh, uh, I mean, basically, I'm putting this in 2025 vernacular. Like, I mean, it's crazy how Kirk was reacting during that moment. I mean, obviously, he got a little
Yeah, he was
something,
basically like,
some thoughts in. I'm like,
like,
and smiled and smirked. It was like
yeah, he was basically like, that was wild, right?
the way that Ensign Rand looked at him, the way that she looked at him. I felt like it almost felt like that this was something like in
Well,
real life she was
she's
just in.
enlisted right now, petty officer.
Oh, petty officer. Uh, I did say ensign Rand. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
yeoman Rand is what I
Well, she
meant to
does end up
say.
being a commander. She catches a commission at some point.
Get the what out of here? How does that happen? Okay. Anywho, uh, it's crazy to me how yeoman Rand like looked at him like motherfucker. What?
Yeah,
Like I have no other vernacular of putting this into, but like the level of disgust that was on her face, almost like the actress herself was thinking about this. Like this whole scene is effed up,
which
and
she would be correct.
it wouldn't shock me if we found. I mean, which I'm probably going to try to like find some like something that talks about this.
With more time, we probably would have
Mm-hmm.
researched it. So sorry, y'all, that um we didn't quite get to it. But like, yeah, there's some gaps here that I definitely would have tried writing gaps. I would have tried to fill in with like some sort of backstory on this episode to be
Yeah,
like, well, okay, at least what were they thinking? But
yeah,
without that, I can just confidently say that I don't care what they're thinking. This is a horrible way to handle this topic.
100%.
Um, yeah, and then they warp out. They tell Yeoman Rand to rub some dirt on it, and
Basically.
then they just head out. So
So with all this has been said, um,
yeah, we need to wrap this episode up.
with the terrible essay that happened within this, with the terrible graping that almost occurred within this episode, like we have to give this a rating. So uh, I will be remiss to point out that we amended our rating scale. So we're not gonna go back to previous episodes to re-rate those. We're
Right.
just gonna move forward with this particular rating scale, but we did add in one one particular category. So this is five is the highest, and we did have it to where one was the lowest. Now we have it to where zero is the lowest.
Yeah.
All right, zero is definitely blood wine. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to be completely blacked out to enjoy this. Um, a one would be Romley Ale. It's terrible. And granted, like the zero is uh, under no circumstances should you watch this.
Yeah.
Like there's no thought in my mind that you should even remotely entertain this episode. That's a zero. Number one is a terrible. Like it had a very small amount of aspects that would have been like, yeah, this is Star Trek, but for the most part, everything that was said and done within this episode was terrible. Uh, a two would be not great, and this is where the additional category came in. This is the Saurian brandy,
Yep.
because this is something that Kirk wanted within the episode, and we were just
And
like,
it's
oh
new
man.
alcohol to us.
Uh,
New Star Trek
well,
alcohol to
it's
us.
not to me really,
Okay.
because the Saurian brandy is something that is used, but it's not wildly used as the other ones that we put in the categories.
Okay.
So that is a two, not great. So Chateau Picard is still a mid. That's a three. Synthahol required. That's a good. That's a four. And then no Synthahol required is great. That's a five. That means like there's no really big issues within this. So with that being said, Patrick, I hate to ask this of you, but we have to give this episode a rating. So, what, sir, are you giving this?
uh, on the new scale, I think I'm essentially giving it the same score that I gave Charlie X on the old scale,
Uh huh.
which I'm reaching for the Romulan ale.
Oh, Romulan L,
I
really?
came into this with Saurian Brandy, and the more that we talked about it, and then there were additional writing things that came up, the more we talked about it,
Mm,
I was just like,
you're so right.
I was like, okay, I gotta knock it down another peg. They, to a point we made offline, this episode had the potential to be like,
Oh, straight, no synthahol
yeah,
required.
exactly.
Like,
Like
yes,
this, like there were parts of this episode that were really good,
yes,
but everything had fumbled it too badly. Not explaining the shuttlecraft stuff, even though I don't like usually ding for plot holes, but like not even having it
yeah,
thought through. Like at some point, it was like this is too much. It's like what we talk about sometimes. Once the ref throws like three or four flags, then it's just all the flags, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm going for the Romulan ale. The only reason why I'm not going for the Bloodline is because I think telling people not to watch this episode under any circumstances would cover up the mistakes that they made,
Yes,
and so
I would agree with you. This wasn't one of those episodes where you just like vehemently like you should not watch it. There's no reason why you should watch this episode.
right,
Like, granted, there was a lot of points within this episode that were disgusting, were stuff that like you didn't really think that anybody would even go this direction. But also at the same time, I feel like also for that same reason that this is an episode that people should watch, because like this is showing a certain past within Star Trek that, well, I mean, we all look at Star Trek with these rose tinted glasses
right,
that like think that it's always been perfect, that there's like no issues. Granted, like we can point out some of our terrible episodes, the Voyager episode, the Salamander episode within
yeah,
Voyager. Like there are episodes that all of us can like completely agree on that, like, oh no, this was horrible.
right,
But and this would be one of those episodes that I feel like we can all agree on when it comes to the what was framed within this episode, what was said within this episode, the depiction towards women in this episode, how it had like a lot of essaying issues within it, how it had like close to a lot of graping issues within this situation. So I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna have to reach for the Romulan L on this one
okay.
in order to make it through. Like I want to give it blood wine. I truly want to give
You
it
should give
blood
it blood
wine.
wine then.
I do, but like there were a lot of points within this episode that I was just like, this is Star Trek,
Yeah,
and I would be remiss to not at least add that to it. The other stuff is what knocked it down purely. If it didn't have any of the other stuff, this would be like hands down, no synthahol required. Great episode. Watch it. This is quintessential Star Trek. After all this craziness, bruh, like it like it's a fake. truly, truly, it was almost there. But these four scenes, I thought it was just three. These four, you pointed out the fourth one. I
Yeah,
was just
it's
like,
honestly kind of like 3.5 because that one scene is like 2 seconds. Quite frankly, like it's like 30 seconds,
still,
but yeah, it counts.
still. And it makes me sad about an episode that could have been something that was really, really great. And it turned out to be not so.
Nope, not at all.
And it hurts my heart. But I mean, we have to rate this how it is, how we are seeing this, especially within this 2025 mindset going into 2026. Like we can't change that, and but that's the reason why I created this rating scale for it, and not to be like 1 out of 10. How do you feel about this?
Yeah,
Like, because we are trying to give it some level of grace, but there's just certain things that you can't give grace on.
yeah, and this is one of them.
Oh, 100%. This is one of them. Like I cannot give grace on essay. I can't give grace on graping in no capacity at all. So whenever I see anything like this, it is automatically going to take down the score of the episode.
Agreed.
But any final thoughts from your end?
Um, nah, I think just kind of like a hard pivot. Um, there was some Strange New Worlds news where they've wrapped season 5. There was a
With
picture
yeah,
sent out today that Pike might get promoted sometime during season 5, or maybe at
yeah,
the end, or maybe at the beginning. We don't know, because Admiral April has just wrapped on season 5. The actor that plays Admiral April has wrapped. So like, there's a bit of Star Trek news just to kind of cleanse the palate. And I'll end on my general optimism that if this episode was written today, it would be totally different and 100% better and actually live up to its potential. And
I
we would
truly
not
hope
have to
so.
reach for the Romulan ale. So
I truly hope so. I truly hope so. And but with the climate that is within our country right now,
oh, wait a second. Are you about to get
uh,
political on a
one
Star
hundred
Trek
percent, I'm about to get
podcast?
political.
Well, but this is a
Uh,
Star Trek podcast.
uh,
This isn't a Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast.
I understand, but I have to like it wouldn't shock me, which is the sad part.
If they got it wrong.
Yes, yes, it it wouldn't shock me. I would, but I do feel like it would cause a level of uh, vehementism within the Star Trek community.
I
Granted,
would
like
agree with that.
that side that is racist, that side that is sexist, like they would probably be like, "Yeah, this was great," but the part that actually like is moral would be like, "What the heck did we just see?
Yeah.
And why did y'all create this?" So, and that was my main reason for pointing out the Voyager episode about 709, how they
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that right. And some people, not some people, a lot of people believe that that's one of the worst episodes of Voyager, like ever, which we'll discuss that more on our terrible, terrible episodes of Star Trek, Strange Trek that we have coming up. Not the next one, but a little bit down the line that
Yeah.
we'll discuss.
Gotta wait for football season to end.
100%.
Strange Trek will return in February.
I mean, seeing as how the Bucks are awful, I mean, I'm ready for this season. The season has already ended for me. I'm just
For you, I will feel bad for you if they beat the Panthers next week.
it'd be such it. I don't want to get into that. I don't get it. That's going on another tangent.
Yeah.
So
If anyone would like another 3 hours
no,
of
no,
podcast,
no, no. So as always, we're going to end the episode with that wonderful, wonderful quote by
oh, the one
Jean
that
Luc.
has the in it. No, I'm joking.
No, no. I've decided to not even touch on that one for this particular episode,
Oh, sounds good.
just because of
It's
certain.
inappropriate.
Yeah, it's very inappropriate. So we're gonna end on that wonderful, wonderful quote by Jean Luc Picard.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life.
It is also possible to commit multitude mistakes and lose awfully, which is what this episode did. Y'all have a great night. Have a wonderful week. See you in the new year. Have a glorious week.